Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Korean StarCraft League, week number 65, your bi-weekly dose of Korean StarCraft. I'm of course host VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to an open tournament. So this is a weekly, or I should say bi-weekly open tournament here on the Korean server. If you want to check out the bracket yourselves, !B in the chat. Again, the bracket is live, the bracket is stacked. Plenty of amazing players will be going over and delving into the bracket after this series, as we are jumping into our first series of the day. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Ley Lines, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the Red Protoss. It is Lemon. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is time to get your gamma going. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim this series. Best of luck in the chat. As we settle in and we calm things down. Calm down, Pappy, calm down. Let's go. Do you need to remember to set up the player name? Don't you worry. Likewise, I might have to restart my client after this series as well. Hopefully, I can come back in time for the next match, as we're going from series to series to series. But for now, we're settling in. And again, Bunny has long since, I was assumed was going to retire, but has taken some time off. He was inactive for, I want to say, a couple of months. I want to say like 2-3 months. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen Bunny being active, until last week. If you've been watching a League, if you've been watching the Masters Coliseum qualifiers as well, you would know that Bunny suddenly popped up and was very active over the past 7 days, maybe over the past 10-ish days. And yeah, it was really impressive to see Bunny, despite being gone for so long, despite being inactive ever since EWC. So again, it's been like 2-3 months. Bunny was looking quite competitive. He was looking very competitive here, and he almost qualified. He almost did qualify for Masters Coliseum. He took down some big names. He took down Trap. He went to the ace match against Gumiho as well. It was very impressive to see Bunny's performance, despite being so inactive as of late. So ever since, the past 10-ish or so days, we have seen Bunny play in more and more events. He's been playing in WarGTV Monday, he's been playing in KSL, he's been playing in the qualifiers, League as well. He's been playing in everything. Suddenly, maybe he has a little bit more free time. We're nearing the end of the year, getting into December. Hard to say. Maybe he just wanted to break, or maybe he just wanted a long extended break after EWC. But regardless, it's great to see Bunny returning once again. And we'll see how he compares to Lemon. Lemon, on the flip side, likewise has been rising the ranks of the Southeast Asian, or at least Taiwanese region, has been looking or rest of Asia region, has been looking very strong, very powerful. As of the past couple of months, we've seen Lemon kind of rise through the ranks, and I would say currently Lemon is the best player in Taiwan. I would rate him higher than Rex, and I would rate him higher than Nice. Nice, of course, did retire. Nice still plays every now and then, like once a month sort of thing, like in one event, every now and then. very, very sporadic. Nice does arrive, but for the most part, Nice, again, he has retired and doesn't compete anywhere near as frequently. So in Nice's stead, Lemon has risen up. Lemon has risen here, and we'll see how he compares to Bunny. Back at home, it's going to be a Twilight Council opener into Blink from the side of Lemon, throwing down extra gateways as well. So far, he's got 2 gates, a 3rd gateway on the way, so 3-gate Blink, very safe opener here out of Lemon. Meanwhile, across the map, Bunny is going to be calming things down himself, throwing down his extra Raxes. Ooh, Adept Shade's in! That should not have happened. Adept does get a full scout of the main base, does get an eye on the 1-1-1 opener, spots the triple with mine drop as well, and Lemon is fully aware of what's going on. He's fully aware he's going to be cleaned up. He shouldn't really get much value or much more value. He shouldn't really get much more damage, but he does at least scout, and that is what's important. So Lemon is aware. Back at home, a 3-gate Blink into a 3rd base. So again, very safe opener here out of Lemon. Now it's all about the execution, all about him trying to minimize losses, keeping up with the drop play and shutting it down. We have 3 Stalkers here at the natural, we have 1 Stalker in the main, and the 3 Stalkers having to be in position. And so far, good volleys here on the medevac. Unload does occur, and he does pull away time up. Oh my god. Oh no, the retargeting! No, the retargeting, buddy! Aye. Lemon did not pull away far enough, and even though all the Widowman's going to be cleaned up, even though the medevac goes down, the damage has been done. That was 9 workers falling. Aye. Lemon, he had reacted in time, he had pulled away, but did not pull away enough. He was too close, Matthew, too close. And with that, Bunny starts off with a strong lead. That's a very strong lead here for Bunny, a lead that should not have happened. Again, Lemon, he was doing well for himself. He was in position, he was doing well, focusing down the medevac, but again, the execution was just barely not enough. And now Bunny, all he has to do is survive the counterattack. He's ready back at home. Does have an economic lead up in workers, up in mules, even on bases. Currently working on a third Nexus still. Lemon does blink into the main. Oh, but there's a tank in position, and the tank will force the pickup. Back across the map, the third base just now finishing up. Soon to be saturated. And Lemon has some catching up to do. Likewise, still being active, dropping into the main. Ooh, won't get much done. Likewise, we have reinforcing stalkers moving out across the map as well. He can try to rotate towards the natural. There is no tank, but there is a bunker. And did I say there is no tank? It is now repositioning. The tank is ready. Tank is getting ready here for Bunny. See Lemon looking for a way in, does spot the upgrades, of course. We have stim, we have combat shields all on the way. Basically, Bunny should be staying at home at least until they finish up. Meanwhile, we go for the dive, and tank goes down. Not bad. Tank does go down. Boys are late to be pulled. Likewise, Bunny not quite in position. And you can see now he has the foresight to rotate and to split up his army. Now he has some Marines and Marauders both in the main and in the natural, but this was needed beforehand. This wasn't necessary beforehand. A last damage has been done. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have Autotart harass into the main. Raven going for Autotart here towards the third base as well. No major damage, 2 probe kills so far, but some lost flying time does at least distract the Protoss. Does keep Lemon distracted. Meanwhile, scrolling up towards the main base. Ooh, the Observer gets spotted. Bunny will clean it up, we'll shut it down, and Bunny will soon move out. We mentioned before, we were waiting for the upgrades. The upgrades are almost done. Stim-out combat shields there, a couple of seconds away from finishing up, and Bunny will soon break out. Soon break out across the map, back at home, third CC's on the way. This is not a 2-base all-in out of Bunny, but it's still very committed. Very committed move out here, and this may just end the game. It's going to be a limit to slow this down. Does pick away at the army. We'll lose 1 stalker in the process. Oh, has to get the hell out of here. Taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage. Likewise, Prism into the main. Oh my god. There is an army somewhat in position. Okay, there are some reinforcements. We're going for the warp in. 4 zealots at a time, 3 zealots at a time even. The mine shots! Oh my god, Prism goes down. That means that these 3 zealots are the only thing really keeping Bunny at bay. Without a Prism, he can focus on the push. And he is. He's focusing on the assault. We see Lemon trying to come in for a flank. Ooh, does warp in a wave of zealots. No shield batteries! And no shield batteries here. Do you have a sentry? Do you have a shield? Sorry, an energy overcharge. Stalkers diving in. They go for the tank. A lot of Stalkers are going to be going down as a result. Oh, the tank survives. No shot. It survived from 1, 2 extra shots. GG gets caught as the army overwhelms, and Bunny takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Strong start there for Bunny. Again, he was in the driver's seat ever since the mine drop. Was able to just snowball out of control. Was able to excel. And with that, Bunny takes a lead. Does take a lead in the series. Now we're jumping into game number 2. Oh my god. Game 2 is going to be on Ultra Love. Also, I'll fix up the icon here. There we go. Beautiful. We're going to be getting into Ultra Love. And we'll see if Lemon can tie things up. Again, like, even though Lemon did go down in that first game, a lot of it did come down to the early Widowmine harass. The reality is that losing that many workers that early on at this level of play is unacceptable. It is usually game-ending damage, just because you don't really have that many workers to begin with, so losing workers early on is more impactful than later on in the game, and that did just really hinder Lemon, did slow him down, and did lead into the eventual counterattack by Bunny. It was on Lemon to try and slow him down, but we saw, and we was able to kill a tank. True, did kill 1 tank early on, but that was not enough. Was not enough, and here we go. Now we're getting into game number 2 and spawning. Oh, I have to switch the players over. Un momento. Bam. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Team Little Fairy. It is Lemon. Also, welcome to all those in the chat. Papi, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? El hermoso, papi. Shout out to CranKy in the chat. ¿Qué tal? Good to see you. Good to see you. I see Paul. I see NetBean. I saw Baby Links earlier as well. werehug was the first quacker. Quack. But definitely good to see you all. Thank you for the copy pasta. Oh, and before I forget, shout out to Cyan for the raid. Big shout out to Cyan. Cyan, of course, has been casting more and more recently in Portuguese or in Brazilian, maybe a better way of putting it, but has been casting a lot over in his own channel, has been streaming a lot, so thank you so much to Cyan. Do appreciate it. Also, I see the copy pasta. Live VIP's body is a machine that turns instant ramen into high-quality SC2 casts. This is very true. at least the ramen part. At least the ramen part is true. That's... no. It's all I eat. Aye. But outside of that, we're settling into our game. I did notice someone asking about Zaun. Asking about what happened to Zaun. Did not check in. If Zaun is not on the bracket, then chances are he signed up and did not check in. Is unfortunate, but you know, it's possible that he could have signed up maybe yesterday, maybe earlier in the week, thinking he was going to be available, and he was not available this morning. So yeah, hopefully nothing serious, maybe just sleeping in, but Zaun is not competing in this week's tournament. He is not competing. I can't cast this, but I enjoy watching casts for the great cast from the great characters. CranKy, gracias, papi, gracias. Gracias. Do appreciate it. As back at home, we did have an economic opener out of Bunny, going for a ranks expand with single gas. Meanwhile, second gas is now finishing up, getting to the factories, but overall a more economic start here by Bunny back at home. Once again, Twilight Council. We have our Twilight Council from the side of the Protoss player going into Blink. Last game, if you remember, it was 3-gate Blink into a third, a very safe opener out of Lemon in the first game, but now that he's down in the series, he might be pressured to be more aggressive. You know, we'll keep an eye on the gateway count. We'll see if he does throw in a 4th gateway, or if he cuts gateways and goes for a 2-gate opener instead. So we'll keep an eye on the Protoss. We're now going to be threading the mineral lines. So far, Bunny is holding on, hasn't taken any major losses, and similarly to the previous game, Bunny is working towards his own mine drop. If you remember last game, it was a more committed mine drop with 3 winter mines, but I believe that was off of a double gas opener, so this time we should be seeing a little bit less of a commitment here. Regardless, we'll keep an eye on Bunny, as the depths they keep shading in, and they do deny some mining time. Not bad. Mining time is denied. When depths they threaten the Marines, they force the SCVs out. And this is some nice early game damage here by Lemon. Not a bad start. Hasn't really killed much, but he has been able to gain an economic advantage. Meanwhile, the mine drop is coming, and it looks like it is going to be the same opener here out of Bunny. I mentioned before that last game it was a triple widow mine opener. Once again, triple widow mines. 3 widow mines here, medevac across the map. Thankfully, Lemon has spread out his adepts and is in position to scout and spot the move out. Back at home, how many gateways? 3 gates. Just like last game, 3-gate Blink into a 3rd base. So we have mirrored builds. Same build that we saw in game 1. Likewise, same build that we saw in game 1 out of Bunny as well. Because the adept shade in, the drop is not quite spotted. Not quite spotted here. Adepts are going to be shot down. They come into the shade. They're going to be cleaned up. Meanwhile, across the map, here comes the widow mine drop towards that natural. There are going to be 2 stalkers in position. Widow mines are dropped up. Up. And Lemon does pull away. This time he does pull away in time, but the Widowmines are going to be chasing him down. They're getting cornered, and thankfully, not too much damage is dealt. Widowmine gets cleaned up. We can go back to mining. All in all, that was 3 probe kills for 3 Widowmines. Could have been so much worse. Whew. Could have been so much worse. I mean, hey, we saw that previously in game 1 with 9 probe kills to the Widowmines. This time, only 3. Decent cleanup here by our Protoss player. Did end up losing one of his stalkers in the process, but all in all, a much better defense here by Lemon compared to game 1. Meanwhile, he's moving out to gain map control to contain his opponents. Once again, Bunny, he's building up, working towards stim, combat shields, building up his tank count, and ideally he moves out with his upgrades and with around 3 tanks. We saw last game that he did lose a tank in the build up to the move out. We'll see if Bunny can minimize losses this time and preserve his tank count a little bit better. See if we can preserve those tanks. Meanwhile, we do have more reinforcing stalkers looking for a way in. No tank on the low ground. Yeah, there's no tank in position. Bunker's under fire. The bunker is going to go down. The boys are being pulled, but it is too little too late. The bunker will fall. And so far, Lemon not losing anything. Very nice control. Oh my god. Quite close there, but he does not lose a single stalker. He lost 1 stalker earlier to the mine drop. Ooh, shuts down the Raven. Yeah, a bit of an F2 there from Bunny, losing his Raven. Boys are being pulled for a moment. Tank does reposition. Now with the tank in position, Bunny should hold. Should hold on to the natural, but what about the main? What about the main base as we do? Oh, go for the dive. Oh, he's tempted. Not quite. Just chipping away at the Marines. So far, still no Stalker kills. And a lot of Marines are going down. Likewise, combat shields under fire. Oh my god. Yeah, brutal tank volleys going off. There we go. Finally, some Stalkers do fall. Observer gets spotted. Observer gets sniped. And Bunny holds. In the process, did lose 9 Marines. Oh, that's a lot of Marines going down here. And again, that is going to slow down the eventual move out. So far, so good here from the Protoss. Ooh, barely within range of +1 as well. Shouldn't get a kill, but does force a reaction out of Bunny. Does force him to respond. Back at home in Gateway Explosion into +1, charge, and a robotic spade into Colossus. But again, Lemon, he needs a little bit more time here to get into this Colossi and to get into charge. It's all about buying that time. Prism towards the main. Zealous likewise in the Prism as well. See Bunny getting in position with the turret, with a Widow Mine. He's getting ready for that drop. Likewise, it's around. Oh, Bunny comes in from behind. Oh, and he will catch out the Stalkers. Brutal losses here for Lemon. Ay. Yeah, sneaky move there by Bunny. Cheeky move even. Able to sneak out, able to get this around at the same time. Drop into the main. Celso get chopped in. Trying to force some friendly fire. Massive warp into the mineral line. These are still brutal losses for Lemon. And are there enough reinforcements? Looks like there should be. As Lemon desperately going for another warp in. Again, this is just keeping the Terran busy. Charge is done. Cells are going to be cleaned up with the Prism. Will survive this time. And back at home. 4th base is on the way. And that first Colossus, it's in production. First Colossus is on the way here for Lemon. Needs a little bit more time, and he will have it in time for the move out. Likewise, because this time the Prism does survive, it means that Bunny is stuck in the main, stuck at home. Is establishing his 3rd base. Likewise, Lemon does get into the mineral line. 3 SCVs going down. Very nice damage. Losing only 1 Zealot so far. Drop towards the natural. And Bunny is having a bit of a harder time here. Again, unlike previously where he was able to kill the War Prism and able to freely move out, so this time he's stuck at home. Just perpetually stuck at home. Non-stop Zealot harass. Lemon comfortably getting to 4-base saturation. Building up his Colossus count, and here comes Bunny. He's had enough waiting. He moves out across the map. Now the Observer does spot this. Lemon knows. As the army moves out, Zealous move in. They hit the 3rd. They hit the natural as well, catching reinforcements, massive pickups, and Bunny, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He just keeps on pushing. He's sending it back. Does move forward. Oh my god, the Colossus! Colossus takes a lot of hits. Oh my god, it goes down to the tank fire. Massive pickup. Colossus goes down. 4th base as well. Shield batteries, force fields, they do buy some time. But how much time exactly? As the Bio Army breaks through, takes down the Zealots. 2nd Colossus has arrived. Trying to buy time. Back at home, Zealots are being cleaned up, but a lot of economic damage has been dealt. Bunny, he's down to 38 SCVs. Lost so many workers across the map. Lemon, he just has to hold on. Tanks are exposed. Nice spread here with the Bio Army. There's 1 tank left. And can he get on top of the Colossus? It's going to be close. He can. He stims. Oh, he stims in. And he will catch the Colossus just barely. He gets 1, but another has arrived. Snipes the Immortal. And Lemon holds. Lemon, he does hold on. Oh, shuts down the Medivacs as well. Does hinder the retreat, and now it's time to counterattack. And again, Bunny back at home, he is down 20 SCVs. Down heavily in the economy. Sure, Lemon may have lost the base, he may have lost a mineral line, but he still has a better economy here than Bunny. Ooh, is Lemon getting too excited though? He moves out, Vikings are here to punish. Colossus taking a lot of hits. Up, taking a lot of damage, 1 more volley. Uno más, papi. Can he get it? He cannot. The Colossus. The Colossus survives on 5. No! It almost survived on 5 HP. Almost. Scatty, so as the final Colossus does fall. Bunny, though, again, he's committed. He's all in. He's trying to break through. Forced to pick up, has to back off. Ooh, medevac goes down. Lemon, he's fighting back. Oh, but he's out of zealots. And these are expensive losses here for Lemon. Bleeding out stalkers. He has to pull away, has to get out of there. Does reinforce with more zealots. Another Colossus. Bunny back at home rebuilding his SCVs, muling his heart out. And the mules are keeping him in this game. 3 base versus 3 base. And Lemon, he has a moment to breathe. He has a moment to breathe. He can calm things down. More Colossus building up. For the first time, getting up to 2. Soon to be even 3 Colossus. Let's go. Bunny back at home, snipes the Observer. Getting ready for drop play. Likewise, Zealot Run-by is also set up. And the medevac may come across it. Oh, barely not. Barely does not spot the Zealots. Likewise, Stalker's moving up, and they're running into almost purely Marauder. Jesus. That's a lot of Marauders. Bunny making 3 Marauders at a time. Go drop into the third. 4 Widow Mines even. Widow Mines, they drop in. Oh! And Lemony does react in time, does pull away. Leaving out a handful of workers. Main army's going to be clashing. Ooh, Stalker's getting caught out. That's 2 Stalkers going down. Nice catch by Bunny. Forces a recall. And 3 of the Widow Mines are saved. Which means they can come back in. At the same time, here comes that Zealot Run-by towards the third base, getting a handful of SCVs. The main army's pushing in. That's 3 Colossus. It's a lot of Colossi. Mine shots going up. Nice spread here by Bunny. But again, he cannot push up this ramp. Not into a cold cave. Not into 3 Colossi. It's not going to happen. Likewise, Disruptor has arrived as well. Mine drop towards the natural, trying to distract Lemon. Oh, does pull away. Ooh. We do connect though. At the same time, Lemon pushing down the ramp. And he should break out. 1 Colossus goes down. He should be losing 2. But the third one, I believe, should survive. Yeah, all the Vikings go down. Lemon, he holds, going for a counterattack. Bunny racing back. Just save once again 3 Widow Mines. They are saved. Oh, tries to boost away. Whew. Will barely be able to. Going for one final unload. And he will get a handful more probes. Overall, not bad. For 3 Widow Mines, they were able to get 3 volleys off. 1 on each mineral line. Very nice damage. Keeping Lemon's economy in check. But Lemon, he is now reaching critical mass of Disruptor. He's got 2, soon to be 4. He's making 2 Disruptors at a time. And on the one hand, Disruptors, they aren't as impactful as they were previously. They're no longer one-shot Marauders, that is true. But that doesn't mean they can't shut down a bio army, especially a very battered, very bruised, very stimmed bio army as well. These Novas, they can still wreak havoc. They should still zone. And we'll see how Lemon can handle this, as he's going to be the one moving out. Supplies are evening up. Bunny does have the higher army supply, but a lot of that supply are in medevacs. Bear that in mind. So I do actually favor Lemon here, especially with those Disruptors. How good are the Novas going to be? EP going up. Where are the Novas? First Nova goes off as well. Nice split, nice spread. Oh, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 Novas. Lemon a little bit trigger happy. That's all of his Novas. That's all of his Novas out on cooldown. Now the Terran army can chase. There's, I think, 1 more Nova in the chamber. Not even, as the final Colossus is going to fall. Again, it's one of those things where, especially when you have this amount of Disruptors, you have to be very patient, very careful with your Novas. You don't want to send them out all too quickly, otherwise if you do, this happens. You get punished for it. It is, in a way, a resource that you have to manage. So you have Lemon moving out once again. Does move out. Bunny set up with a flank, set up for a surround. Lemon doesn't take the bait, he backs off. Does back off, going back to Colossi. Meanwhile, Bunny now not just with Ghosts, not just with Vikings, but going into Liberators as well. Freedom, it's coming! The Freedom is almost here. Oh! The Vikings! Shots going off, they almost get a Viking. Almost. Again, the Viking count does matter because the Protoss is going back into Colossus production. Back into Colossi. Lemon rotating in. Lemon just taking more bases, taking more expansions. His economy is booming. Likewise, Bunny will establish his own 4th as well. So 4 base versus 5. Soon to be 6 from the side of Lemon. Both armies are maxing out. It's going to be a lot of disruptors available here to the red Protoss. What concerns me most is the 2nd starport coming into a fusion core that should be for Liberator range, should be for mass lib. Army comes in from a flank, EMP goes up, Nervous, they don't quite connect. But there's not enough of a bio army here. Bunny is being chased down. Lemon handling himself well. Does rotate in. The ghosts are exposed. Ooh, that's going to be 2 ghosts going down. That's big ups. Lemon gets 2 ghosts. Likewise, we do have Lemon rotating. Keeping up with the army. Ooh, massive EMPs. Nervous, no big connections. They do buy some time. Oh, these Nervous they will though. They graze the army. Not good enough. And Lemon does have to retreat. Has to back off. Likewise, you can see he's out trading Bunny. Bunny dropping in supply. He's been losing too much. Despite not taking the Novas, I mean, everything else has been dealing damage. And Bunny has been struggling. As we do see Lemon snowballing out of control, breaking through that 4th base. Bunny's trying to hold on. Trying to buy time for his Liberators. Never really got into them though. He's forced to make more Vikings. He has Lib range on the way, but again, never quite got there. Oof. Oh my god, Jesus. The rapid fire Novas. Calm down, Lemon. Calm down. Keep it together. As Lemon backs off, but again, still max. Still fully maxed out, just waiting for those Novas to recharge before coming in once again for another dive. It's getting ready for another dive. Ooh. Good EMPs. Bunny just trying to hold on. Does save the 4th. Vikings are going for a Colossus as well, but they won't quite get it. But he does hold on. Bunny slowly catching up, finishing up those upgrades. Lemon having a very difficult time pushing in and breaking the expansion. He does rotate though, and here there's no planetary. Oh, there it is! Oh my god, massive connections! And that's what Lemon's been looking for. Finally, he does connect, takes down some ghosts. Doesn't quite commit. Dark Shrine is on the way. 3rd Robo. Lemon taking every base on the map. Taking all the expansions. As Yama's going to be rotating. Showing down the Widow Mines. Now, the scary thing to me, one, Bunny is taking a 5th, and Bunny's maxing out. He's maxing out in Lemon. Despite having this supply advantage, despite having a bank advantage, he hasn't been trading. He hasn't been trading, and he needs to. Otherwise, he will lose his edge. He will lose that lead. Mindshot going up. Catching up more of those Vikings. As the army is pushing forward, massive liberation zones are being thrown down. Oh my god. Graze the army, Liberators are finally here, and Bunny, he's slowly securing himself. Again, he's just turtling up. He's turtling up. The 5th base is getting up and running. Again, as I mentioned, Lemon should be doing something about that expansion. That's the main, by the way. The main has floated over as the 5th Bunny. He's actually maintaining himself despite being down in army supply. He's holding on. Oof. Does take it over to the face. But again, it's so difficult to push into a turtling Terran like this. Lemon at the same time going for a massive DT counterattack. Ooh, does get into the mineral line. SCVs are going down. But he doesn't get the base. The command center does survive. Bunny forced to rotate. Forced to respond. More SCVs falling. Ooh, brutal EMP. Does catch out the Dark Templar. TTs, they rotate, they respond, they pull back. That's a lot of freedom. That's a lot of nervous. Now, because of that DT counterattack, Bunny once again plummets in supply. And we do find a way in! Yeah, Liberation Zones are not ready. Nervous going off. Decent shots from the libs though, Jesus. Oof. Bunny holding the line. Does hold line, trying to break out. Meanwhile, the army out of position. We rotate over. Finally, the base is going to fall. There's no saving the planetary. Nervous popping off. No major connections. Very nice target find, but oh my god! The ghosts go down. And GG gets called. It's just too much, and Lemon will tie up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Whew. Lemon will tie things up, and we are going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game 3. Let's go. Let us go. And where exactly is the ace match going to take place? We're here to find out. But again, Lemon, he was able to get a lead early on. He was able to shut down the economy with the Zealot counterattacks. If you remember, it was when Bunny broke out, the Zealots hit the 3rd base and they hit the natural at the same time. SCVs were falling left and right. It was insane damage, and Bunny wasn't quite able to sustain those losses. He wasn't able to break his opponent. If you remember, Bunny killed the 4th, but he only killed the 4th base and some probes as well. But he needed more than that. Bunny was pretty committed. He was pretty all in. After that, Bunny was behind. He was trying to recover, trying to make up for that, and he could not. He could not make up for those losses in the end. We are going to the ace match. We're tied up. We're going to game 3. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of King's Cove, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player from Taiwan, tying up the series 1-1, forcing the ace match. It is Lemon. Let's go. Let us go. We are going to be settling in. Do you see some people asking about Xian? Xian is not playing on this channel, but apparently he's playing in a Super 7 show match. That would be on Soup. That would be over on the Soup platform. That is not casted here. And checking the TL calendar, I do recommend checking out the TL calendar. Bunny versus Xian, that show match is in 6 hours. So in 6 hours time, you can tune into that show match. Again, that's not going to take place here. That's going to be taking place over on the Soup platform as Bunny comes in with the eBay block. Let's go. eBay block here in the natural, going to be disrupting the initial opener here of Xian. And of Lemon, and forcing a more inefficient start. So I know there were people asking about Xian earlier. He's not playing in this tournament, but he has a show match in 6 hours, which should be before Masters Coliseum. As a reminder as well, we have multiple casts here today. We start things off with the KSL, and later on tonight is going to be Masters Coliseum. That is going to be in 8 hours. So in 8 hours time, we're going to be casting Masters Coliseum. That's going to feature players of the likes of, let's see, Group A. We're going to be featuring players such as SHIN, SHIN, Estrella, and Cure. So, oh, that's a spicy group. So if you want to tune into SHIN, Estrella, and Cure, then hey, we're going to be casting later on tonight in Masters Coliseum. Again, that's going to be in 8 hours. 8 hours time. Before then, I might have a nap, or just, focus on VODs and doing on other kind of unrelated Ducklings work behind the scenes. We'll see what happens. See what happens. Regardless, back-to-back broadcasts or 2 broadcasts today. Likewise, I saw someone asking about stats. Stats, he did return to competitive play, of course, this year, even last year even. But Stats, after post EWC, after Esports World Cup, Stats has not been competing. He has not been playing, has not been competing. A lot of players did go on vacation after EWC. A lot of players did go on a bit of a holiday. I would imagine Stats is one of them, and Bunny was one of them as well. If you were here at the start of the broadcast, I was talking about how Bunny has been very inactive post EWC, and it was only this week where he started playing again, where he started, I should say, competing again, and has been looking very informed. We were talking earlier about how Bunny, he was able to take down Trap in the Master Coliseum qualifiers. He took Gumiho to the ace match, considering the Gumiho, he's in peak Home Story Cup form. Again, that was also quite impressive as well. So Bunny recently came back. When it comes to stats, he has not yet to come back. So we don't know if he has officially retired. We don't know if he's just taking a break until the next season of EWC. I would tentatively say the latter is the case, where most likely we have to wait until the next season of EWC is announced, or the next season of EPT is announced, and then we'll see if Stats does compete in the next qualifiers and the next major event. Clearly, at the end of the year, he didn't play in Master Coliseum either, but yeah, we might see more of Stats next year. 2025 is the best that I can say. All mate Stats. So now we're calming things down and settling in. As for now, we are setting up back at home. Bunny going for his 2-1-1 setup, soon to be a 3-1-1. Likewise, at this time, Bunny is not setting up for as committed of a mine drop. This time, we have two wind mines in the medevac itself. You can see here that Bunny did go for the initial Hellion for some scouting information in the aftermath of that eBay block. And we'll see what he can get done as the drop comes in. Ooh, but Lemon's in position. He's ready for it. Lemon does dive in. Mine shot's gonna be going up. No! Oh my god. Mine shot's into the mineral line. That's gonna be, what, 4 probes going down. Very nice damage. They try to waddle away, but they should be denied. Regardless, good damage dealt here by Bunny. And how many gates do you see? 2 gates in the main, 2 gates at the natural. This is not 3-gate blink, this is 4-gate blink. Stalker, a much more aggressive follow-up here from Lemon, much more committed. He's moving out. Back at home, what does Bunny have? Okay, he's got 1 tank in the main. He has 1 tank in the main. No tank at the natural, but 2 bunkers. Okay, Bunny, he now realizes how much danger he's in. 1 bunker's not enough, 2nd bunker is on the way. And it looks like it should finish up in time. Meanwhile, we do see Lemon instead ready to dive into the main. The tank is looking a little bit more exposed, but it's further back. So if the army blinks in, there should be a tank volley going off, and a 2nd tank has arrived. And can Lemon dive in? Oof, he's going for it, but the 2nd tank is sieging up. He's going to get 1. Oh, but that's a lot of damage being dealt here to the Stalkers, and he's going to be forced out of the main. Does bring down 1 tank. Add-ons are exposed. He can delay stim. Boys are being pulled. And the warping is denied. The prism, prism goes down. Massive pick off. And is there an observer? There is. Okay, there is an observer. Lemon can always dive back in. He can and he will. He wants that tech lab. Will delay some of the upgrades. Stim is still on the way. Thankfully, there's a tech lab further back in the main, but that will delay combat shields. Ooh, as the observer gets spotted, Bunny will force Lemon back. We'll force him away. We'll force him away. See his chat. His Western counterpart is Showtime. I think his Western counterpart used to be Showtime. If you've been watching Stats as of late, Stats, he did get like the nickname Shield of Ire, and I do think that he had a similar playstyle to Showtime many years ago before he went to the military. Post-military, if you've been watching Stats, you would know that he's much more aggressive. That was one of the most fun things about watching Stats over the past year, is that he, you know, the military changes a man, papi. It changed. What did he experience? What did he see? What did he experience? But ever since he came back from the military, Stats has been more cheesy. Stats has been more aggressive. Stats, he definitely has a different style to him nowadays than he used to. which has been really fascinating to kind of like chronicle when it comes to Stats' playstyle. A lot more aggressive nowadays. For now, I'm going to be settling in. Do you have our rowboat into a bay in the main. Orders to harass here did delay some mining at least, and Bunny, he breaks out. He's breaking out. Third TC is almost done. It was good damage here by the Protoss to snipe a tank and to snipe and delay some of the add-ons and some of the upgrades. But how many Stalkers went down? 4 Stalkers went down. The Prism went down. Ideally, Lemon wanted more damage. He wanted more. Remember, Lemon, he delayed his own third base in favor of that Stalker aggression. I mean, he's now getting into his third and now working towards a fourth base. That is true. But Lemon, economically, is not in the most ideal position. He is not in as strong of a position as he was last game. Essentially, he didn't do enough. Did not do enough with the 4-gate blink. Prism into the main. Oh! Ooh, takes a mind shot to the face. And now it's not going to take too much here to bring it down. Yeah, the Merrick say boost on over. He wants a Prism. He wants it. Won't quite get it. War Prism will escape. Results go down. And here comes the lone Viking. Viking in production that is designed to hunt down that Prism. And to clean up any kind of counter attack. Any kind of backstab. Thought it was because he was trying to get back into safe because he seems to be struggling after military service. I don't think I would agree with that at all. If you remember, it was post-military that Stats he qualified for IM Katowice. If you remember, it was during IM Katowice where he said that he finally found the motivation to actually commit a little bit harder, as he was struggling. But it was post-IM Katowice where he dedicated a lot of time, a lot more effort, and his results did improve. It was looking quite good, while still being aggressive. Here we go. Bunny moving out. He's going for a double drop towards the natural. Oh! Likewise, Lemon, he does engage with the main army. He's trying to slow it down. Oh, but he's going to be punished. It's going to be one Stalker falling. At the same time, Prism towards the natural. Double drop into the natural as well. Colossus in position just in time. Lemon, he will defend. Likewise, forcing back the army, trying to force an earlier siege. But the fourth base is exposed. Zealots into natural. Bunny has plenty of reinforcements. He cleans up those zealots. Likewise, drop in towards that natural, who is deflected. But what about the fourth base? What about the Nexus? Lemon, he's trying to hold on. Dives on the tanks. Tanks are exposed. Tanks are going to go down. And without those tanks, there's no more backbone to the army here for Bunny. But looks like he will barely snipe the base. Nexus does fall. Massive pickup. Bunny doing well for himself. Takes down the Nexus. And with that, Lemon, he's falling further behind. Drop into natural. This time, Lemon's not in position. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. Getting, what, 3-4 more probes. Keeping Lemon busy. Forcing his army back home. And behind this, Bunny, he's now on 3-base saturation, getting a 4th base as well. Bunny, I would say, now has an economic advantage, dropping back into the main, killing even more workers. And he's just pulling Lemon apart. And again, a lot of this is kind of just a cascading effect from the early 4-gate blink, from the failed 4-gate blink. Lemon's been trying so hard here to catch back up economically, but just hasn't been able to. Has not been able to. See Bunny going for a counterattack. Zealot run by here at the same time, headed towards a third. Has potential for damage. Getting into the mineral line. Bunny trying to keep up. Oh, Zealots, they are getting caught out though. Nice EMP. Bunny does turn around. You see Lemon is looking for a fight. Can Lemon get that? No, right. I was gonna say, can he get the ghost? Not quite. Doesn't quite get the ghost. Ooh. But he does move out. Again, he still has a pretty terrifying army. That's a lot of ghosts. That's a lot of EMPs. Lemon just now trying to work towards disruptors, and disruptors, they will allow him to engage with this force of Bunny, but he needs a lot of them. Just like what we saw in game 2, right? You need to hit critical mass of 4+ disruptors to make use of those Novas, to buy time, to trade or to out-trade the army. But Lemon, he's not there yet. He needs more time. Does need more time. Bunny going to be rotating. Rotate does hit the southern base. Massive EMPs. Oh my god. EMPs almost everything. And that's so many Vikings. The Colossus are being shut down. Disruptors, they finally arrive, but it's too little too late. But the Gateway army is falling. It's crumbling. Yeah, the Nexus will fall. Vikings, they shut down every single Colossus. Novus, they graze the army. They get one ghost, but only one. And with that, Bunny, he takes the fight. He cripples the army, takes down the expansion. And Lemonade is down to 120 supply. Ay, ay, ay. Now trying to reinforce, but again, these disruptors, they arrived a little bit too little too late. You could also argue that Lemon took an early fight. You know, he maybe should have bought a little bit more time to maybe just given up on the expansion, just give up on the base, back off until you have disruptors. Now with these disruptors, he can dance with the army, but because of how small his army is, Bunny can just split off. He can just split off, he can hit 2 locations at once, and supply-wise, Lemon just doesn't have enough to defend in multiple locations at once. Doesn't have enough, he's going to be torn apart. As Bunny, he's stimming in, going for the natural, and GG gets called immediately, as the supply is just not there, and Bunny will take the win at 2-1, will take down Lemon, and advance on to the quarterfinals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Bunny will claim the series, will advance on. And will make it into the next round. Whew. GG, well played. And now he's getting ready for his next series, for his next match. We'll get ready for his next series, but I do need to very quickly reset my client, so I do apologize. I have to reset, and hopefully I come back in time before the next match. Hold on. Can I do this while I'm streaming? Keep changes. Okay, beautiful. Coming back. But GG, well played. Bunny will take it. Shout out to Lemon, though, because Lemon, he held his own. He held his own. He had a good showing here. He forced the ace smash. Looked very strong in that second game. Unfortunately, here in game 3, again, he just had a really rough start. Really rough start to the game just because he chose to be more aggressive, and that aggression did not bear enough fruit. Did not bear enough fruit. Wasn't quite worth it in the end, and he was just outscaled and outpaced. Beautiful. Beautiful. We are here, we are back, and exclamation mark be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Let's switch our scenes over and have a look at that bracket. Whew, here we go. From the top, we have updates. We have updates here. We have Creator. Creator takes on Percival. Yo, Percival is a player that I have not seen in quite some time, Poppy. Oh my god, Percival, one of the bears. Let's go. Oh my god. It's really cool to see him. He went down to Creator, but yeah, Percival, he's a player that retired quite some time ago, right? Like it's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen them together. It's been a while since we've seen Percival compete, so very happy to see Percival once again. Is this a one-time thing, or is he gonna commit and come back to us? We'll see. We'll see. Big fan of Percival. Big fan. Very wholesome player. Wholesome. As we're just setting up for our next match. Heading on over the Creator, he advances on to face off against herO. So Creator versus herO mid-series. Oh, sorry, they're just about to begin PvP in the round of 8. Scrolling down, we have Solar. Solar gets a walkover over Triple. Solar, he's up against Trap in the second round in a ZVP, as Trap did take down Rebellion. Likewise, scrolling down a little bit further here, we have Bunny. Bunny takes down Lemon. Bunny is now up against Dark in the next round. Oh my god, the lower... What happened in those lower matches? Those are some fast games. Jesus. SHIN took down his opponent. Classic took down Luna C. SHIN 2-0'd Classic in a very fast series. Like, what is that? 4 games just wrapping up real quick before we finished our first series? That is wild. So really fast matches, really fast games there. SHIN speed running through the bracket. That means we have our next couple of series. We're going to be casting Bunny into Dark, into SHIN, into either the finals or the upper semifinals. That's the plan. But geez, that fast games. Very fast games. Very fast games here, as we are going to be settling in, and vetoes will soon be underway. Dark and Bunny, they are going to be conducting those vetoes, and again, Solo takes down Trap. Ooh, big win there for Solo, and Solo is waiting for his Protoss opponents, either herO or Creator. Now, if you are new to KSL, if you're new to the Korean StarCraft League, then maybe you don't know this, but who is the champion of the KSL? Who's the big KSL kahuna, if you will? herO. herO has won the most Korean StarCraft Leagues out of any other player in the history of KSL, and he's also the reigning champion. He is the reigning champion. Last week, it was a best-of-5 finals between herO and Dark, and we could see another rematch. We could see a rematch. Last week, it went all the way to the ace match, went all the way to game 5. I do recommend the VODs. It was a very spicy series. It was 5 games that ended in like half an hour. Like, it was very fast matches, very fast games. Really intense, chaotic aggression from both herO and Dark, as you can imagine. We'll see if they can have a rematch. There is some pretty tough competition here, though, in SHIN, Bunny, Solar, and Creator. So we can definitely see any of those players bring Dark and herO down. We'll see if they can deny that rematch. We'll see if they can deny it. If you're curious, and again, if maybe you haven't tuned into the KSL before, you might be thinking, hold up, where are the Terrans? Like, there's a lot of Zerg and Protoss here, but I mean, that we do have one Terran here in Bunny, but where's everyone else? Where's Bjorn? Where's Gumiho? Where's Cure? Where are some of these other active Terran players? Olivera as well. Well, you know, if you're familiar with the lore of KSL, you would know that it's too early in the morning. It is like 1 p.m. It's like 1 p.m. on a Saturday in Korea, and it's too early. It's the organizers, Chicken Man and Dave, they've tried to get some of the Korean Terrans on, and it's very rare, and they've said themselves that a lot of the Korean Terrans, they sleep in. It's too early for them to compete in KSL, so that is why you don't see them as often. Every now and then, we get a Gumiho, we get a Bjorn, we get a Cure. If they pull an all-nighter, and if they stay up from the previous night, or if they happen to wake up early enough, they play, but they are certified degens. They're it is a little less common. Bit of a feels bad, man. But that's why. But it's also why where you do see the Korean Terrans is in later tournaments, like Wardy TV Monday, for example, or some of the European Cups. These later tournaments, they're at a bit of a better time slot for them, you know, like at like 6, 7, 8 p.m. in the afternoon or in the evening. It's when they wake up. It's when they're good to go. So that's just some of the lore of the KSL, and yeah, with that, we're just waiting for our players to prepare themselves. It looks like we are going to be joined by Steadfast. Steadfast is going to be joining us. Shaz, Chicken Man, and Dave Tesla, of course. I believe they are covering herO versus Creator. Currently, only 2 matches are being held. Only 2 matches here: herO versus Creator and Dark versus Bunny. Here we go. Otherwise, yeah, when it comes to Percival, again, Percival, he was an up-and-coming player for quite some time. Like, when I think of Percival, I think of Ordinary as well. Ordinary, the Korean Protoss. I kind of think of players like Honmono and Quanta and Genio, for example. I do place Percival above them, I think. I think they're like slightly like a tier or like half a tier above your Honmonos and your Quantas and your Genios. I think Percival was maybe a little bit more successful in his endeavors, but he did retire quite some time ago, which is why it's really cool to see him back, and I hope he isn't deterred. I hope we see more of him. Again, Percival, he's a nice guy. He used to stream a lot more often. This was back before Koreans were banned from streaming on Twitch, so I don't know if he streams on Afrika or on Soup, so I don't know if that's continued for Percival, but regardless, do wish him the best in his return, in his potential return. as vetoes are still underway. And we have our lobby. We have our first match. Let's go. Gonna be jumping into Dark versus Bunny. If you're curious why I had to restart my client as well, I had to fix up my refresh rates on the monitor. Just had to fix it up. Then we're good. Alright, good to go. Someone asking, is it live or replay? If we ever have a replay cast, then it's usually signified in the title of the stream. That is where, I mean, I say usually, it's always signified in the title of the stream. So if it's ever a replay cast, it is stated there. Otherwise, assume it's live. Here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner, bottom left hand corner of El Dorado, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing himself, currently teamless, but an amazing player in his own right. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, returning from a break, from a vacation, from a hiatus. He is back. For Team Falcons, it is Bunny. Here we go. So we are going to be settling into El Dorado. And again, I'm more than happy to focus and embrace Dark whenever I can. Dark is a player that recently did not compete in Masters Coliseum in those qualifiers. And a lot of people, myself included, assume that his military service might be on the horizon. It might be on the horizon here. That would explain why he did not take part in Master Coliseum qualifiers, because it is a 2-month event, and if you can't commit to the 2 months, then you can't play, of course. It's unlikely that you'll be able to compete. So if that's the case, then maybe there's good reason for it, and maybe military service is looming here for Dark. It's been one of those things that Dark has been talking about for a very long time, and he just hasn't gone. we don't know as to why. We know, for example, for Zest, Zest did have some health complications, which did delay his military service for a long time until eventually he was able to actually go. If you remember, Zest, he had some back issues. He had some back problems, which he had to, I think he had to like undergo like physical therapy to actually get to a point where he could actually go to the military or something along those lines. I'm not too sure about his recovery, but eventually did go. So again, hopefully everything's okay over on the side of Dark. For the time being, we do have a gasless opener. Gasless here by Dark. This is a very stylistic opener here by Dark. He does embrace this very, very often. And we'll be getting into it as the first Reaper has arrived. Going to be dancing with the Lings. Basically, what's happening here is that Dark goes for a very fast third. Very fast third base here for Dark. No gases whatsoever. And his goal here is to defend with purely Queens and slow Lings. And with as minimal Lings as possible as well. The purpose of this opener is to cut corners, be hyper greedy, and this leads into Roach play because there's no Ling speed. There's no Ling speed for a very, very long time, so you skip Ling speed, you go into Roaches as well, and this opener is viable on maps like El Dorado. For example, as you can see here, this Reaper has to go through the long way around, and harassing and applying pressure to this third base, it's almost like a giant pocket base. Like, the only way to gain access to it is drop play, or as you just saw, like going through the natural into the third, or mining through the minerals yourself. So it's just really awkward here. It can be awkward for a Terran player to really apply too much pressure here. So Dark, he feels confident that he can defend with purely Queen. We'll see if he can. You can see already Bunny working on those mineral patches. Oh, there you go. Just getting a better angle. Does mine through, does gain access to this southern half of the map. And we'll see if Bunny can pull Dark apart. Again, Dark, he's at his weakest before he gets into Roaches. Because again, he only has Queens and slow Lings. Here come the Hellions. Here come the Hellions here for Bunny. You can see the Overlord getting in position, and the Overlord... does he spot him? He barely saw them for a second or two. Likewise, he should notice that the mineral patch has been mined from. Hellions are revealed, and Darky is responding. There's that Roach Warren for Dark, as we did mention. Roach Warren's on the way. Hellions, they bypass the Queens. And Queens out of position, they're off creep. Drone's going to be going down, getting one, getting two. Two workers do fall, and Bunny, he will pull out. We'll get the hell out of there. We'll pull away. Likewise, Dark trying to keep up. We'll rotate. When it comes to the main base, it was a 3cc build here by Bunny, so very economic. Third CC into a 1-1-1. Into Stim and Liberas. No Banshees. Going for a Hellion Lib instead. Liberator's on the way towards the main, or towards the third. So far, Darky's maintaining himself. Did lose 2 workers so far, but only 2. Getting to a fast layer. Taking more gases, getting to his third, soon to be 4th gas. Liberator sieging up, but the Queens are ready. Yeah, Queens, they rotate over. Lib taking a lot of damage at the same time. Massive Hellion harass here towards the third. And the third base sits so wide open. Bunny looking for a way in. Up. Does try to dive. For now, 1 Hellion will fall. As the Liberator does get into the natural. 2 drones so far. Nice damage. 2 workers and a Queen. 2 workers and a Ling. As Bunny still trying to look for a way in. He is denied. A lot of lost mine time though in the natural. Not bad. Bunny getting a lot done. Likewise, he pulls back, taking his third base, going for the goal, but Roach is a hit to deny mining, or at least they try to. The tank should deal with this. As the tank does siege. Forces back the Roaches. Bunny hunting down Overlords. And soon taking advantage of this gold base. Again, these are some of the features of El Dorado. Both players going for the golds. Bunny's taking it as a third, so he will have a boosted mineral economy. And more Marines as a result. More of everything, really. Throwing down more Raxes. Getting into his 7 Rax setup. Into 1-1. And did I say, yeah, so far, sorry, getting into his 8 Rax setup. Now, I was about to say, once I saw the 7 Raxes, that this is a pretty good map for an 8 Rax, considering the short rush distance by ground, especially, you know, here towards the southern half. And it looks like Bunny is going for a 3 base all-in. I mean, especially with the gold minerals, this is going to be a really brutal 8 Rax. And it's going to be difficult for Dark to hold. We'll see if he can. See if he can. As he's building up his Roaches. Takes control of this Naga. Bunny still gearing up. Just waiting for his Raxes to finish up. And again, so typically, some of the signs of an 8 Rax is, instead of just the 8 Raxes, you typically don't take any gases at your third. But here, there are no gases, period, at the third. Like, so, and you get boosted mineral income. So, like, again, this map is, it's perfect for an 8 Rax. Absolutely perfect for it. The Marines are amassing. 1 factory or 1 tank at a time. With that 1 factory production, and Bunny, he will soon pull the trigger. Now going for drop play. Ooh, my apologies. Bunny getting a 4th CC. So I had assumed that Bunny was going for a 3 base all-in, but no, he does begin a 4th. That is going to slow him down, and as we can see, instead of going for a main frontal assault, he's going for drop play. Sims in, Dark gonna be the one to push forward. The tanks are exposed. Uh-oh. Tanks are exposed. Bunny, he's out of position. And the tanks, they're going down one after the other. Bunny getting caught with his pants down. Denial of the 4 CC. And Dark, he just goes right down mid. Goes for the kill. Off of 69 workers. Gets a kill the 3rd CC. Oh my god. Kills the 3rd CC. Pushing in. At the same time, double drop here towards the natural. Is gaining ground, but Dark, he's buying enough time. And he's done crippling damage. He reset the tank count. He killed 2 bases, the 4th and the 3rd. And just like that, Bunny, he's in trouble. He's hurting. Again, I was a little bit in shock myself that he was going for drop play instead, but that means that back at home he was vulnerable, didn't have as much to defend. And Bunny was caught with his pants down. Dark now going for the kill, going straight for the natural. There's still 1 tank on the high ground. That will slow Dark down. And Dark doesn't even have to go for the kill. He can just back off and drone. He can just back off and macro up if he so chose to. For now, replacing or reinforcing with Lings, getting into 2-2 upgrades. building up for his second wave. This time with Banelings, and he's taking up into an infestation pit. I do appreciate this. Again, Dark doesn't have to kill his opponents on 2 bases. Like Bunny, he's going to be starved out. All that Dark has to do is deny the third. Just deny the third base over and over again. Take more expansions. There we go. We do have the 5th base now being retaken. I believe it was cancelled earlier. No, sorry, it was killed. Was killed earlier by the drop. You can see Dark double expanding. Not the safest time to drone, especially with a Roach Ravager based composition, but safe to tech, safe to expand. The Stark is getting another core base. Oh my god. Files that don't quite connect. Bunny moving out. Gets eyes on the Ravagers. Stimming in. There's not enough here though. Once again, the tanks they get caught quite out in the open. Files they connect, they shut down the bio. And GG gets called. Dark, he will take game number 1. GG. Oh my god, a very strong move. A strong move out by Dark, able to shut Bunny down when he was at the most weakest. Again, Bunny, he was building up Marines, building up his tank count. What did Bunny not have? Well, half his Marine count was across the map, going for drops instead. Likewise, no Sim City. There was surprisingly little Sim City here between the 3rd and 4th base, around the CCs themselves. Oh, no bunkers, no depots, no nothing. It was just completely wide open and completely exposed. And with that, Dark does take the first game, and now we're getting into game number 2. That's also where, coming into that game as well, it is a double-edged sword where, I mean, that map is just favorable to aggression, especially if they expand towards each other. That's why I expected Bunny to go for the 8 racks, but he didn't. I mean, he went for 8 racks, but then he went for a 4 CC and drop play. Like, instead of focusing on a frontal push, Bunny, it looked like he was a little bit of 2 minds as to what he wanted and where he wanted to take it as well. So, yeah, interesting build there from Bunny. Maybe a little bit indecisive as to how he wanted to approach things, was caught out, and now we're getting into game number 2. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, leading the series 1-0. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Falcons. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Bunny. Here we go. Again, for those of you that maybe aren't on social media, Dark did recently leave his team. He was on Team Falcons for, he was on Talon Esports. My apologies. He was in Talon Esports for quite some time, and honestly, it was really cool to see their support over time with Dark. We spoke about it more in depth last night during the podcast, or sorry, 2 nights ago during the podcast. That is our weekly talk show about StarCraft. We went a little bit more in depth, but in general, we were really happy with Talon Esports' performance when it came to supporting Dark, making content, hosting interviews, and yeah, they were quite active when it came to supporting him. And we also all knew that it was a temporary agreement. Talon Esports themselves, I want to say around EWC, did talk about how they wanted to support Dark for as long as they could, but they also knew that Dark was soon going to military, so it was like a shorter contract. It was a shorter agreement between the teams. And shout out to Talon Esports for even supporting Dark post EWC as well until the end of the year, until the end of 2024. And that is also what is leading us to believe that Dark is going to the military soon. It's a couple of things, right? It's 1, Master Colosseum, 2, leaving Talon Esports as well. Like, it all kind of like leans in that direction. We have no confirmation. It's purely speculation on our part, but there's like, again, like reasons behind the speculation. We'll find out in time. We'll find out in time what will occur with Dark in the coming new year, coming into January. Which is also why, at least until then, I want to cast and cover Dark as much as I can, while I can. Before he goes to the military. Este Dark. As for now, Rax Command standard opener here out of Bunny. Meanwhile, this time Dark going for a standard opener himself. Remember, last game on El Dorado, because of the map itself, it's more viable to go for a gasless start. Here, gas. I should say hatch gas pool. Third base is delayed, so nicely done here by Bunny. Will delay the expansion, and Dark, he's going to be forced elsewhere. Ooh, Ling's moving out across the map. Dark, preserving that drone. And Dark's trying to force the army back home. CC's on the way. It's going to finish up in a couple of seconds. And it looks like it will finish up just barely in time before the Lings arrive. A command center does complete. Lings, they bust in, but the CC is done. And Dark, he can maybe get one SCV, but not much more than that. Meanwhile, back at home, oh, big delay here on the third. Massive delay for Dark. Canceling the gas geyser twice, now 3 times. Does kill one Marine across the map. But no, not even. Gee, that was a Ling falling. My apologies. I saw some blood and I thought it was a Marine. But no. Bunny, really strong start. He delays the third base quite heavily. He kills 3 Lings. His natural's up and running. So very solid start here by Bunny. He's going 3 CC into this time what looks to be an add-on swap. Remember, last game was 3 CC into Liberator into Fast Stim. This time 3 CC into add-on swap into Banshees. So a slight variation here, or deviation from Bunny when it comes to his build. Going into Cloak Banshee instead. Meanwhile, across the map, Dark, he does finally get his third base, but it is a very delayed third. And the Hellions, they just go past. They just run past the Queen straight into the mineral line. Drones are going to be going down, but how many? So Fire gets 1, he gets 2. Gets 2 workers, does pull a couple of boys. Ooh, a third drone does fall. Can he get 4? Ooh, not quite. Oh, not quite. As the final Hellion does get picked off. But 3 drones this early on, not too bad. Not too bad here for Bunny, especially considering his earlier lead as well. Bunny is in a nice position. And we'll see if he can extend that lead with continued Hellion harass and Banshee harass. Remember, Cloak is on the way. So Bunny, he might choose to just wait for Cloak before moving out with the Banshees. He can still be active with those Hellions though. Meanwhile, it's going to be a lair first here by Dark. Lair into Bailey Nest. Relatively standard follow-up here. Relatively safe as well. Going for the earlier nest. Here we go. No Gamba. Oh, my apologies. Sorry, I was engrossed in the series, so my apologies. But yes. Predictions are now open. I mean, we're already 1 game in, so I apologize. I'll be more on top of that next time. I was just having a much more frantic start to the beginning of the series, just because I had to restart my client, so I do apologize. But predictions are now open. You can place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. What I will say is that coming into game 2, there is a higher chance that we have an ace match just because Bunny has had a much more comfortable start. But just because Bunny has had some nice advantages at the start of the game doesn't mean that Dark is out of this. Not at all. Ooh, as the 4th base is under fire, detection's coming in. Can he force a cancel? Up, one of us. 1 more. Ooh, he does force a cancel once again. Another massive pickoff. Big delay here on the 4th. Banshees are headed towards the natural. Drone's going to be going down. And Bunny, he already had a nice start to the game, and now that lead is being extended here, getting 5 drone kills, denying the 4th base, dipping back in, getting a 6th drone, and as long as he doesn't lose the Banshees, I mean, he can just continue to threaten the bases. Going for the Queen. There should be a transfuse. Oh, there's transfuse just in time. Banshees, they back off. Nice shuffling there of the Banshees as well from Bunny. Reserving his HP. And it is forced out. But again, just a very, very strong start for Bunny. Just so much going his way. Behind this, Dark, he's trying to fortify himself and he's taking. Okay, interesting choice. Dark, he's taking into Hydras. What does this mean? This means that most likely he's going to be saturating himself on 3 and 4 bases. This base is not just for Larva. He has a plus on melee on the way. He's trying to transition into what looks to be a Ling Bane Hydra. He's building up to that point. We'll see if he can get there. Likewise, back at home, Bunny, it's 7 minutes. You know what that means? It's time for the 7-minute move out. Let's go. The armory is almost done. So these Hellions, they can morph into Hellbats to support the army to make sure the tank doesn't get surrounded. Speaking of, here come the Hellbats. And Dark, how many Banelings does he have? 11. Okay, 11 Banelings. Tank does siege. Only 1 tank. Uh-oh. Banelings, they roll in. They crash into the Hellbats. Hellbats get cleaned up. And it looks like Bunny just doesn't have enough here. Again, usually we move out with 2 tanks, but the second tank was left back at home. So a very uncommitted move out here by Bunny. As he only moves out with half his army, he does threaten the bases, but he backs off. He backs off, is getting a 4th CC, he's building up towards a longer game state. And Bunny's looking to head into and embrace that mid game. With Banshees, they do hit the southern expansion, going for the 5th. Dark trying to respond. Bunny trying to pull him apart. Last Link Bane is ready. Link Bane is in position. And behind this is only the one tank. Dark could try to break out. His creep is receding. Queen's otherwise busy against the Banshees. And Bunny's going for drop play. He's looking to hop around. Let's go. Loading, moving out towards the south. Meanwhile, the Bio does come in for a surround. Does at least try to. Yeah, tank will fall. A little bad trade here by Dark. Shuts down the tank. Forces back the drop. Likewise, Dark, slightly out of position. He has some links here, though. Gasling's ready, trying to force friendly fire. Oh, very nicely done. The friendly fire. Dark dragging the Mine Shield into the Marines, and with that, Dark, he will defend. Will defend. Meanwhile, oh my god, the target firing. Bunny does target fire with the Banelings. He can trade against the Lings, shut down the Hydras, and Bunny will take the better trade here towards the north. Dark towards the south. Yeah, keeping it with each other, but you can see the supply difference here with Bunny. Again, he's had a much better start to the game when it came to crippling the economy, slowing down the bases here of Dark. That is leading into this supply gap. Bunny's maxed. Bunny's maxed out. He's on 4 bases, now getting a 5th CC as well. And defending without lurkers is going to be difficult here for Dark. Not impossible, but very difficult. We'll see if he can. The Mine Shot's, Mine Shot's going up. The Chuckling Bane goes down. Bunny stimming in. Dark trying to keep up. 28 more links on the way. Bunny pushing forward. Ideally spreading out those mines. Mine Shot's going to be going up once again on the Link Bane. Yeah, brutal connections. Barely any Banelings left. Bunny's pushing in. That's still an overwhelming amount of Link Hydra, though. Yeah, he can't surround even without Banelings. He forces back the army. Ooh, doesn't quite get the Medivacs. Came close. Medivacs to escape. Jump towards the north. Clearing up creep. And Bunny, his aggression continues. So just trying to pull Dark apart. Trying to break him. Lurker Den is done. Mine Shot's going up. We had some decent connections. But Dark is holding. That's what's important. He's holding on. He's buying time for his lurkers. Lurker range on the way. So far, still holding on. Ooh, drop towards the north. Gets into the mineral line. Gets one drone. Now getting 2. Meanwhile, the Hydra's getting caught out. Who catches who? Nah, Dark, he can't engage off a creep. Not like this. He has to back up. Bunny gaining value. 3-3 is almost done. Lurker range finishing up. And we should soon see more lurkers morphed in. And there they are. The first wave of lurkers. 5 lurkers for Dark. He just has to buy time. And he should be able to. Lunges in. Mine Shot's going up, taking down some of those Medivacs. And Dark leading out a lot of aliens with the lurkers. They have arrived. And they will hold. Whew. Dark, now he can defend with the bare minimum, building on more lurkers and going for a massive link counterattack, catching reinforcements. And Marines, Marauders, trying to bait out those Widow Mines as well. Emphasis on trying. Does attempt to. Dark, he just engages. Not the most efficient trade here. Dark plummeting in supply. Oh, yeah, he bled out a lot of links there in the retreat. Not worth it. Lurker count is building up, but the lurkers, they need support. This isn't just about lurkers, it's about the Link Bane as well. Without it, I mean, the ghosts they can pop off. The ghosts and the liberators. It's Bunny, he's max, he's pushing in. Lurkers, they're on their own. Snipes going up. Ooh. He gets one. He gets two. Two Lurkers go down to 6. 6 Lurkers left. Dark going for a massive counterattack. Mine shots. Ooh. No major connections. Tank is exposed. Catching reinforcements, going for the ghost. And not bad. He gets one. Takes down a ghost. Bunny trying to gang around, but Lings, they do hit the 4th base as well. They run into the planetary. Bunny, he should hold on, but he's distracted. He's being distracted. Widowman's getting baited out. Dark just buying time. 8 SCV kills, not bad. Dark achieving quite a bit of damage here. Getting 11 SCVs, pulling back the army, delaying reinforcements. Borrowed Lings here in the natural. They can always unburrow to wreak havoc once again. And Dark, he held the line. He held the line. Ooh, does attempt another run by this time. Bunny's ready. And Bunny backs off. Yeah, at this point he just backs off. He just retreats. It was just a little bit too much chaos. Bunny has to lick his wounds. Lurker goes down. Unburrow into the natural. More SCV kills. Dark, he's just getting as much breathing room as possible. Oof. Oh god. Oh, not like this. Jesus. That was how many? That was 137 Lings going down throughout that fight. Not just there, but previously as well. All in total. 145. Dark, he's holding on. Getting another expansion. Walling up with Lurkers. Up to how many? Up to 7 Lurkers so far. Getting to 3-3. Now, I still favor Bunny's army here. I mean, he has a more efficient army, I should say. How many ghosts does he have? 11. He's got 11 ghosts. He's got a couple of Liberators. Upgrades are on the way for the Liberators as well. Already on 3-3. So Bunny can take a better fight, but as we've seen, it hasn't been like Dark. He hasn't been trying to win these fights, just been trying to buy time and go for counterattacks instead. But where are the Lurkers? Yeah, they're towards the south instead. Nice round. Oh no, Bunny! Ooh, late reaction. He does snipe the expansion, but he will lose a bunch of his army. Means the Marauders go down. By moving in. Once again, he wants those Lurkers. Snipes go up. He gets one. Oh, he gets two. 2 Lurkers go down. Dark once again going for a massive counterattack. He does get a kill, not a cancel. Takes down the CC. Getting into the mineral line. Bunny turns everything back around. He races back home. As the army's breaking through, Nightstorm was in the main, but it gets cleaned up. And Bunny, he loses 18 SCVs. Nice into the main once again. Bunny now finally, for the first time in a long time, falling behind in supply. And again, time and time again, Dark, he's known that he cannot win these fights head on. Instead, just non-stop counterattacks. Just non-stop run-bys instead. Defending with the bare minimum, defending with Lurkers. While he hits with everything else. Takes down the lib. Pushing into the... No! No splits! No splits, no spread. Ay, Bunny. Asleep at the wheel, Poppy. Otherwise distracted, I'm sure, by the other Link counterattack. And with that, takes a massive bailing to the face. Speaking of, Dark, he attempts another run-by. Nidus into the main. And Dark, he's max. He's max. He's now taken another expansion. He's on 7 bases. Has a booming economy. Building up a bank. Nidustorms, they continue. And Bunny's been being pulled apart. You know, finally, Dark, he has done critical damage. Breaking the defensive line. Diving in once again. Takes down the lib. Gets 1, gets 2, Nidustorm finishes, mass Lurker counterattack into the main, going for the production. And Darky's going for the kill. Now that he's in the main base, this means that this army from Bunny is not getting any larger. It's not getting any bigger, not anymore. Takes down an expansion, but Dark, pushing into the natural, came to their main base, came to the production. Going for the contamination as well. Let's go. Ooh. And Bunny, he's just running out of steam. He's running out of steam at this point. Pushing on forward. Bunny, he had a really strong start to the game. Remember, he was killing workers, sniping bases, out-trading his opponents. He was up in supply. He was the first to max out. Bunny was playing this out well, but he could not kill Dark. That's what was important. Couldn't kill him. Massive fungals. IMP's too late. And Bunny behind this, even supply blocked. Couldn't make anything even if he wanted to. And this is all that's left for Bunny. These 4 Metamax and these ghosts. GG gets called. The writing was on the wall, and Dark will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the semifinals. GG. GG, well played, Dark. He will claim the series. Very strong performance here out of Dark. I'm going to say that. Shout out to Bunny. Bunny was not looking bad at all in game 2, but Dark, it was all about buying time. Buying time and stabilizing, just buying time for his lurkers. Once he had his lurkers, finally he could start to counterattack and be more active on the map, getting into mineral lines, getting into bases, popping off with Nidus storms, popping off with burrow as well. Initially, Bunny was holding on, Bunny was defending, but over time, we saw that Dark was able to chip away the defenses and eventually break through and start to cause havoc and deal critical damage. With that, GG. GG, well played. Dark does take the 2-0, and that leads us into the semi-finals. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Ooh, as it looks like we have both semi-finals ready. Okay, from the top, herO. herO takes down Creator 2-0, Solar takes down Trap 2-0, and we have the upper semi-finals, herO versus Solar in a PvZ. Let's go. They are mid-series. Shout out to, I believe, Dave Testa, as he is covering that series. He is casting that over on his own channel. Meanwhile, we're focusing on our series, or focusing on the lower semis, Dark versus SHIN. Let's go. Let us go. It is going to be a ZVZ. We've seen Dark and SHIN face off many, many a time, and Dark is typically favored in this dynamic, in this series, but we have seen SHIN take it to Dark and take maps, take series himself. Not as frequently, but has done so in the past. We'll see how this goes. I'm sure it's going to be a short one, I'll be honest. It's going to be a short best of 3, Pappy. Oh my god. I don't expect much macro between these two players. At least historically, that's been the case, where they often go into, you know, Ling Floods, Roach Rushes, 2-base all-ins, 3-base all-ins, 2-base play. They're usually very, very aggressive when they play against each other in ZVZ. And this time I'll be sure to actually start the predictions at the start of the series. I'll keep an eye out for that. We'll do so as vetoes are underway. We're catching up in the chat. No Terran left. No, only one Terran. Only one. I mean, I guess there was Bunny and Percival, so technically 2 Terrans. But yes, no more Terrans left in the tournament. As we mentioned before, if you weren't here for it, Terrans typically do not compete in KSL. It's too early. It's too early in the morning here. Players like Cure, Gumiho, and Björn, they wake up later. They wake up a little bit later, which is why they compete in events like Wardy TV Monday, less so KSL. So that's why, specifically for this tournament, it's usually between the Zergs and the Protoss players. Here we go. As from here, we're going to be going on a short break. And when we return, we will have our semifinals. Again, Dark versus SHIN after the break. See you soon. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals of the Korean StarCraft League, week number 65. One of the last KSLs of the year of 2024. Oh boy, the year has just flown by. I can't believe it's already almost over. It's crazy. Regardless, we're jumping into our ZVZ and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of El Dorado. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing himself, currently teamless, but deserving to be on the team, the best Zerg player in South Korea. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the other South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is SHIN. And that is not the logo for Gaiman Gladiators. I will get on top of that, so I do apologize. But if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. It's Gamba time, Papi. Best of luck in the chat. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in your predictions as I very quickly set up the logo for Gaiman Gladiators. There we go. Just fixing that up as we head on in. So far, it is going to be hatch into pool here from SHIN, going for a delayed gas opener. What does this mean? This means most likely 2-base. This means most likely 2-base play here by SHIN. Meanwhile, Dark going hatch gas pool. Hatch gas pool. Now, the reason why going for a gases or going for a delayed gas opener like this means 2-base play is because without your gas or with your delayed gas, it means you're heavily behind in link speed and you're heavily behind in your bailiness as well. So because you're behind in link speed and because you're behind in bailings, you have no map control. You have no presence on the map, and there's no way for you to be active or aggressive across the map either, and you yourself are vulnerable to link bane of your opponent. So this typically leads into the Zerg player walling off. You wall off this ramp with Evo chambers, with your Roach Warren, with your Queen as well. You fully wall off, and then you play 2-base instead. Now this could lead into 2-base Roach, this could lead into 2-base Muta, this could lead into just 2-base, into a delayed third, into a macro game. SHIN has options. This can even lead into late link speed, into a link flood. So to try to catch the opposing player off guard. So we'll see how SHIN does approach this 2-base build. Meanwhile, Dark across the map, standard opener. Hatch gas pool, link speed is on the way, should soon be going for a bailing nest. Now once Dark and should soon be going for a 3rd base as well. Now once Dark realizes that SHIN is playing 2-base, Dark most likely will cancel his bailing nest and go into Roaches instead. That is typically the correct thing to do. But now we're settling in. Dark getting in position. You can see his overlords are moving in to try to scout what is going on. So far we do see his Dark mining through. Okay. So far, neither player is going to be mining through those middle patches. Ooh, and Dark, he does open up with a 2-base Roach. Okay, so he scouts, he confirms no 3rd. He confirms there is no 3rd expansion, there's no 3rd base. He confirms 2-base play out of his opponent, and he doesn't even have to start his bailing nest. A big reason for this, Overlord scouting is faster on El Dorado because of the short rush distance by air. So really fast scout out of Dark, so he's playing 2-base as a response, and we already knew that SHIN was playing 2-base as well. So lair is on the way, fast lair from both players. We are still embracing link speed, but Dark should cancel this. You can see he actually canceled it, then he restarted it, and he may just keep it canceled. We'll see if he does commit to link speed. SHIN's just skipping it. He's just skipping link speed entirely, going into Roaches. Now, because we're on El Dorado, what is typically 2-base play can turn into 3-base play because of this. Because of the gold minerals. You can mine through these minerals, and these southern expansions are very secure early on. Very secure, especially in this matchup. In this matchup, you don't have drops. You don't have medevacs for marine drops early on, or blink stalkers. Like, to gain access to the southern half of the map, you have to mine through the minerals yourself, and that's quite a bit of a hassle. So you can expand relatively freely here. Meanwhile, Dark, 2-base play, 2-base Muta. There it is. Spire has been thrown down. Dark is on all gases. He never even threw down a Roach Warren. Just straight up 2-base Muta out of Dark. I do like this. Something that I just mentioned is that this map is short rush distance by air. That's why the Overlord sees a lot faster. That's why, it gets across the map a lot faster. It scouts faster. Likewise, Mutas get across the map faster as well. But here comes the Overseer Scouts. SHIN dives in, Queen's in position, and the Scout is denied. But not really, though. The Overseer goes down, but did get eyes on the Spire. Big Scout here for SHIN. He knows what's going on. Behind this, he's going for the 3rd base. I assumed it was going to be for the standard 3rd, but no, he's going for the gold base instead. So greedy move here by SHIN. This is a double-edged sword, though. SHIN, he does go for the high-yield gases, But Shin doesn't take extra. He does have, sorry, high yield minerals, but he has no gas. Remember, this base has no gas available, so that is going to be quite impactful moving forward in the ZVZ, is that Shin is going to be behind in gases, is committing into Roach play though, and he might just go for a Roach all-in. I'm curious how he does approach this problem that is the Muta, because Mutas are already on the way. Mutas are already in production. Third base now being taken for Dark. He does prioritize his gases, taking his 5th and 6th gas at the same time. Mutas are soon moving out, and Shin is going for a Hydrogen. What does that mean? Defensive play. Spores. It's going to be on Shin to turtle. It's going to be on Shin to turtle up to throw down Spore after Spore Crawler, Mass Queens, tech into Hydras, and minimize losses. Likewise, the Overlords right now are exposed. They have to come back home. You can see the Overlords, they turn back around. They have to come back to the safety of the Spores. Otherwise, they will fall. Speaking of, Mutas are hunting them down. And the Mutas, they are spreading out, looking for those Overlords. They're getting one so far. And they will come across the Overseer here towards the right-hand side as well. It does spot the Overseer. Mutas, they respond. Shin confirms that there is a third, that there are gases. And Shin, all he can do is be defensive. He just has to turtle up and get into his own infestation pit. Now, this can be for either Hive into Vipers or Infestors. Ooh, and the Changeling does confirm. So Shin is going to be stuck at home. Meanwhile, Dark, he can freely expand. Because of the defensive setup here, though, Shin, usually the defending player has a really hard time taking a 4th. It's usually very difficult for the defending Zerg player here to take a 4th base against Mutas. But because this 4th base is right next to the 3rd, now I kind of like Shin's position. He can take a fast 4th, take those gases, which means he can afford Hydras, which means he can afford a Hive, he can afford Vipers, and he can also afford Lurkers as well. For now, though, that is not a Hive. Infestors. Okay, he's going for Lair Tech. He's going for Infestors, going for Fungal Growth instead, going for a ground-focused army. A very Lair Tech-focused army, I should say. Now, this could just be a stepping stone to eventually get into Hive Tech, or this could be to commit on Lair Tech instead. So we'll see how committed Shin is going to be. But now, Shin is gearing up. He's droning. First good sign. He is droning, saturating that 4th base. Likewise, we can see Dark also trying to transition out of this. I believe we saw a Hydrogen out of that. No, never mind. Still just Muta. Still just Lingbane Muta here from Dark. Oh, Fungal does graze the army, but no major connection. Infestor is revealed. Bailey said, well, no, oh, massive connections. Shin was distracted. We were distracted, and Dark, he does slip in. He gets 9 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. Very nice damage here from Dark. Oh, and that should not have happened. I mean, Shin's been crippled. He lost most of his... Oh, he lost his economy here at the gold. That was meant to be carrying him in this game. It's meant to carry him, Pat. Likewise, Dark also gearing up towards Hive Tech. Meanwhile, Shin, I believe, did not throw down a Lurker Den. So far, still just Lair Tech-based army. Yeah, and he's making more Hydras and more Infestors. He's supply blocked. You have 6 Overlords on the way. And I feel like if Shin wanted a Hive, we would have seen one by now. Yeah, he's looking to max out. So Shin is building up with Hydra Roach instead. Hydra Roach Infestor. Now, this army from Shin doesn't have a lot of longevity. That's the problem here. Shin is basically going for an all-in. Oh, as they get in again. Oh, no. They get in once again. Massive connections. 12 drones go down. Shin just getting pulled apart. But remember, Shin is just going for a committed move anyway, as he should soon be moving out. Speaking of... Oh, does he commit? He's thinking about it. Likewise, Dark getting ready for another Baneling run by and knocking down that wall. Breaks in. No major connections though. At the same time, they hit the southern base, distracting Shin. Dark soon to max out. He's on how many mutas? 23. 23 mutas here. Going for the Roach Warren. Won't quite get it. Nice transfuse. Banelings, they just keep rolling in. We have more Lingbane towards the south. They head towards the mineral line. They do barely make it in. Just one connecting. Just one connecting. Mutas, they once again hit the natural. Only Queen's in position. SHIN, he does go for a massive counter-attack. He's all in. Yeah, at this point, SHIN, it's all or nothing going for the base trade. And Dark, he commits. Does commit up the ramp. Remember, no lurkers for SHIN. Only Roach, Hydra, Investor. So again, he's just layer tech all in at this point. Lings it into every base. And Dark, he's just so much faster here in the base trade. He's in every single expansion, crippling the economy. And you can see that SHIN is turning around. He has to. Like, he can't win this base trade. Dark was just so fast. But here comes the Infestors. The fungal! Oh! No! Where's the fungal? No, like this one fungal connects. Okay, we do get barely the second fungal, but the Hydras go down. There's only 2 Hydras left. Ay, ay, ay. SHIN, he just wasn't quite paying attention. GG gets called, and Dark will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, SHIN just forced into the base trade, and unfortunately, when he raced back home, he wasn't quite looking at his army. Even if he had protected his Hydras and gotten off the fungals, even then, like, it was just an uphill battle for SHIN. Like, Dark, he was more than prepared for that kind of base trade scenario. He had so many Lings in position to dive in, and it was just so fast to pull the trigger there. GG. GG, well played. Dark takes the game. In almost full control of that game as well. Almost. Again, SHIN, he had the option to try to tech up into Lurker tech and Viper tech, but if you remember, his attention was being split. Like, time and time again, Banelings, they go into mineral lines over and over again. Even if SHIN eventually wanted to tech into Hive, he was denied that. He was denied that because of the economic damage. So he was forced into the all-in, forced into the base trade. And in the end, Dark did pull him apart. Now we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Frostline, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing himself, leading the series 1-0, 1 game away from making it to the grand finals. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is SHIN. Here we go. So we calm things down and embrace game number 2. Now we're going to be loading into a much larger map. Welcome one and all to Frostline, one of the larger maps in the map pool, at least the largest new map in the map pool. It is smaller than Abyssal, Neon, and King's Cove, but larger than all the others. Likewise, the bases are very spread out, very exposed. If a player wanted to go into something like 2-base play, it is less viable on Frostline just because of how exposed the natural is. So I don't really expect to see that kind of opener from SHIN 2 games in a row. There it is, Hatch Gas Pool. Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener here out of SHIN, likewise standard opener out of Dark as well. I expect to see Link Bane aggression. Because of how exposed and how spread out the 3rd and 4th are, you are vulnerable to being pulled apart, especially if you aren't quite able to keep up with the movements of your opponents, then it can be quite difficult to defend. So I'm expecting Link Bane aggression, or just aggression in general early on. We'll see. For now, we're calming things down. We're building up. See, love your NG, mate. Oh, gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you, thank you. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it, papi. Do appreciate it. Oh. So we are going to be embracing our ZVZ. Really, we're just keeping an eye on any big deviation. Dark is very fond of keeping 3 workers in gas. With this means he can make extra banelings when he is aggressive across the map. SHIN pulls out. So this is a much more standard response. He pulls out of gas. This is a more defensive start. It means that he really only intends to make 2 banelings, just to defend, just to maintain himself. Dark should be the aggressor. Should be. As we have our baneling nest on the way. First baneling nest from SHIN. Dark should be throwing his down momentarily as well. Ooh, my apologies. He skips the baneling nest, rushing to roaches. Bold move here by Dark. With this, he's in a way kind of baiting Shin, or he's goading him into being aggressive. If only Shin knew. Shin, his overlord gets forced back, and Shin did not go for a Ling Scout, but that's 18 Lings on the way. Shin is going to be the aggressor. He's going to move out, and Dark is going to have a hard time defending that third base. A third base that does not exist. Ooh, two-base play. Two-base play out of Dark. He's fully walling off, but Dark is investing into Ling speed. What does this tell us? This means that potentially Dark will skip their lair. It's possible here that it will just skip the lair and go into a Ling Roach all-in. With, of course, Lings to reinforce. Roaches are building up as we speak. He's on only 2 gases. We do see Shin, he's being aggressive, that is true. He did invest into all these Lings. He's got how many? He's got 18 Lings back at home, but there's no third, which means Shin, he can't do anything with this. Oh, but he's making more. He's making more Lings. He's going for a bust. Oh, okay, so Shin is going for a Bane bust when Dark is cutting workers and making pure Roach. So it's like Shin is all-inning a player that's also all-inning. And I do favor Dark here just because he has all those Roaches. He has to reveal his hand soon. Here come the Banelings, and here comes Dark. The wall gets broken. No cancellations. Major kills there on the wall, and Shin backs off, thankfully. If Shin committed, if he tried to commit, if he tried to push in, then I do think that Shin would have lost everything. He would have lost everything here, just because, I mean, this is a greater army defensively. Now, where Shin can take an advantage is if this army moves out. What Shin wants is for Dark to move out and for Shin to surround these Roaches. Likewise, that is why Dark just threw down a Bailey Nest. Typically, the way this all-in works, and this is an all-in out of Dark has not been droning, and Dark is not taking. He should be going for a mass Roach with Bailing support, and the Bailings, they stop these Lings from surrounding. If Shin tries to surround, there's going to be like 2 or 3 Bailings to deny that, to deter that. So Dark, he's committing. Likewise, so is Shin. Both players are all in. Like, Dark is on 32, Shin is on 28 workers. Shin does have extra lava. That will help for a more Ling-based composition. Roaches are on the way. Shin is on 2 gases. And we'll see how this dynamic works. Here come the Banelings for Dark. Dark is moving up. Banelings are a little bit behind. And you can see Shin going for a Ling run by. But here go the... Oh, no, oh my god. Whew. As Lings, they do commit. Banelings forced to turn back around. Oh, and Shin has to... Oh no! Shin, he does have to pull back. Does take down 1 queen. Likewise, we have additional Banelings rolling in, but so far, Darky defends, and he commits across the map. Lings are out of position. Here comes that defensive Baneling. Ooh, massive connection. Again, making sure that Shin cannot surround. Very nice setup there by Dark, just preserving those Banelings. Oh no! We'll throw 1 away. Bit of miscontrol. You see Shin. Oh, the target firing! Shin, he did focus on that final Baneling, and with that, Shin, he should surround, and it will clean this up. Without Banelings, the Roaches are vulnerable, and the Roaches will fall. Dark sending out a reinforcing wave, but Dark, he's running out of steam. Again, that surround may have just been it. That may have just been game. Dark, he wasted a Baneling on that hatchery, and that may cost him this. He's trying to go for the third. More Banelings walling in, but Banelings against Roaches, they're not ideal. Shin holds. Shin holds. He's up in expansion. Dark is droning. He's trying to transition, but it's going to be difficult here to try to get into a longer game state. As both players are droning up. Dark had potential, but again, needed 1 extra Baneling, at least 1. Moving out with the second wave. Things they get a surround. Not bad. They surround the Queen. Queen goes down. Meanwhile, Dark is committing. He did get spotted by the Overlords. Shin is aware. Back at him, Shin massing up a Roach army. Dark, he is denied the expansion, and Dark is all in. He's just completely all in at this point. We'll see what he can get done. As there are defensive Banelings. Yeah, Dark spinning up his Lings. Not bad. Crashing into the Roaches. The Banelings, they do quite well here. They soften up the Roaches. They do soften them up, and Dark, he's breaking through. Ooh, he's at least trying to, again, time is on Shin's side. Shin needs a little bit more time here to build up reinforcements. But the hatchery is going to go down. Dark, he's done it. He's broken the third base. That's the least that he wanted. That's the least he wanted. And he gets it. Hatchery goes down. Dark pushing in. And Shin, again, he droned up to 39. Droned up a little bit too much. Darky's catching him out. It's still so close, though. Dark kiting back. Kiting back with the roaches. Kiting well. Getting on top of the queens. Willie's trying to. Does snipe one. Brings down one queen. Gets the other. Oof. Shin, he's barely holding. I say that more reinforcements, they do trickle in. And do buffer for the roaches here of Dark. But Dark is down to 4 roaches. That's not enough. Yeah, Shin is holding. So Shin will hold behind this. Dark is expanding. Dark is expanding. He's droning up. Dark is still trying to settle into a longer game state. He does have the upgrade lead. A +1 carapace now on the way as well. And where does Shin take this? Shin, he did have an advantage for quite some time, but now he lost his third. He lost his base. Likewise, he's down in tech. He's down in upgrades. Just now starting +1 range. +1 range has been on for quite some time for Dark. Dark even has a lair. And Dark can just chill. He can just drone. If he really wants to, he can just drone up. He can make sure he doesn't over-drone, of course. You know, make sure he survives any kind of all-in from his opponents, but Dark can play a more defensive role here. And Shin, he starts up his lair. What does this tell us? This tells us that Shin, he at least wants roach speed. He at least wants roach speed. So Shin shouldn't be moving out anytime soon. Ah, there it is. Shin is too far behind. He taps out. GG gets called, and Dark will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Dark will claim the series. Again, a very intense game too. Honestly, I thought Shin had it. Like, Shin, he was in a much better position at one point. He was up in bases, up in workers, up in economy. He had survived the aggression of Dark. But unfortunately, it looked like Shin was just a little bit too greedy there in the aftermath. And Dark was able to just barely push him back enough to kill the third. To kill the expansion and to, of course, kill extra workers and to build up behind it. And Dark was able to take a lead from there and take down Shin. GG. GG, well played. Again, towards the end there, Dark was up in supply, up in upgrades, up in tech, up in workers, up in bases. He was up in every single metric in a mirror matchup. It's almost impossible to recover from the side of Shin. Almost impossible. GG. GG, well played. With that, we now have our first finalist. Dark does advance on to the grand finals, and the question becomes, does he have an opponent? Does he have an opponent? Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the back of yourselves. We have herO versus Solar mid-series. They're currently mid-series. They're facing off in their best of 3. And I believe they are being casted by Inu and by Dave Tesla. Inu is casting in Korean, Dave casting in English. Again, Dave is currently streaming over on his YouTube channel. And let's have a peek in. Let's see where they are. Inu, I think Inu streams on Chijik. I'm actually not sure. Maybe Soup? I don't... Yeah. You know what? Let's find out. Let's find out. Here we go. Okay, so it looks like herO and Solar, they're in the ace match. They're in game 3, which means, oh my god. And Solar, he's looking primed to take it. Solar has almost double this. What's been happening this game? Crazy. They're in the ace match, and herO, he's trying to hold on, but Solar, he has a massive advantage. It looks like it's been a bit of a longer game state. It looks like herO may have rushed into Tempest. So it looks like it would have been a Tempest rush out of herO. It looks like Solar did defend. He counterattacked. He crippled the economy. And now Solar, he has a solid worker count. Likewise, Solar, he has a solid army supply as well. It'd be very shocking if herO were to win this. But he's still in it. He's still in it. There's still potential for herO, especially if Solar takes some rough fights into Storms. So best of luck. Best of luck to both Solar and herO. As we, of course, are getting ready for the grand finals. So Dark versus TBD in a best of 5. Okay. Here we go. Until then, we're going to be going on a break. Until then, we're going to be going on a break here, and when we return, we will have our grand finals. It'll either be a ZVZ between Dark and Solar or a ZVP between Dark and herO, as they just finished. Okay, they just got out of the game, and it looks like Solar did take the series, so we have confirmation it's going to be a ZVZ, Solar and Dark. Let's go. We go. So GG, congratulations here to Solar as the ZVZs continue and we get ready for the grand finals. What's the cache's name? Is this the... I don't have... What's our command? Don't even know. For now, though, we're going to be going in a break. Going to be going in a short break. When we come back, we'll have the grand finals. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes here. Take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and we'll see you soon for the next series, for the finals. See you then. See you then. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals of the Korean StarCraft League, the KSL week number 65. It's been a bit of a shorter broadcast, a bit of a shorter bracket, but an intense one nonetheless. And we were theorizing, would the rematch between herO and Dark be denied this week? And it has been. It has been denied. There is no rematch. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Neon Violet Square, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg. It is Dark. Last week's runner-up. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the hero slayer himself, the red Zerg, representing Team Falcons, his new team. It is Solar. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is time to get your gambler going. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we do settle down and embrace this ZVZ. And this is going to be a spicy one. Solar, of course, he was dubbed the SHIN Slayer. What was that, a year ago at this point? It's been a while, but there was, of course, that season, that era of WTL and that era of StarCraft in general, where Solar was the answer to the problem that was SHIN. This was back, of course, a year ago, before the rise of Clem, before the dominance of Clem, when SHIN was the best player in the world. Straight up, hands down, there was no contest, there was no competition about that. But specifically in ZVZ, Solar had his number. He had his number, he was the answer. He led his team to victory over Basilisk in WTL. That was when Onside did bring Basilisk down. And even in surrounding tournaments, Solar just kept bringing SHIN down time and time again, specifically, of course, in that ZVZ matchup. So Solar has some of the best ZVZ out there in the world, 100%, but likewise, so does Dark. And Dark is a very different kind of player than SHIN. Very different. As Solar, he goes gasless. Let's go. Jesus. If you recall, we saw something similar on El Dorado earlier today. We saw it between Dark and SHIN, where SHIN opened up gasless a little bit. He went for a delayed gas. He went hatch, pool into later gas geyser instead on 2 bases. But here, we're on Neon Violet Square. What does that mean? Pocket base. So you can be even greedier than what SHIN was doing in El Dorado, straight up just rushing into a 3rd base with no gas into what should be 2 base play into 3 base play. Now, Solar's going to be skipping his link speed because there's no gas. Obviously, there's no gas, so no link speed, no bailings whatsoever. It should be Roach play at a Solar. Technically, this could be Mutas as well, because this pocket base has gas geysers. Gas geysers are available here, unlike the fast gold base on El Dorado. Gas is available on Neon Violet Square, which means something like rushing to Mutas is very much so viable for Solar. So we'll see what he does. We'll see if he goes Muta or Roach. Meanwhile, back at home, Dark went for a standard opener, hatch gas full, link speed is halfway done, 3rd base is on the way, and looking at Dark's vision, he doesn't really know what's going on. He doesn't know about the opener, he didn't scout the natural, didn't scout the main base, didn't see anything. Dark, he doesn't know exactly how greedy Solar is. He's making links. He's going to be flooding links across the map. This, more than anything, is going to be for scouting information. He might find some damage, but Solar should soon be walling. Speaking of, there it is. He should just be walling off. And as the wall is erected, it's going to be much more difficult here for Dark to get damage done. So here we go. We have our Evo chambers, our Roach Warrens on the way. Solar's walling up. He's walling up. Here comes the link flood here of Dark. And can he break through? So far, it's going to be... Oh, no! The wall's open! The wall is... it was open, but alas, Solar, he does plug it up. There we go. Does reposition those queens. And Solar, he has walled off. At this one, he has walled off. You can see Dark trying to come in from the right-hand side, but he is denied. Behind this, Dark going back into droning, but Solar is ahead. Solar, he had to invest into this wall, but behind this has been happily droning up, and he gets away with purely queen defense. With only 3 queens, he defends against the wave of links. So far, a solid start here for Solar. You can see Solar, the reason why he's canceling that Evo chamber, he doesn't want it to finish. He doesn't want 3 Evo chambers. If he can get away with it, he wants to get away with only 2. So doesn't want to let it finish. Roaches are amassing as we speak. I don't see a lair. I do not see a lair here. Solar, he went for a very greedy build into what looks to be an all-in. It looks like an all-in here. Solar, meanwhile, the queen gets surrounded. Ooh, the queen does get surrounded. Clutch transfuse. Lings, they do slip in. A lot of chaos is ensuing here. Alas, Ling should go down. The queen does fall, and Solar, he will commit across the map. Link speed is on the way for the Roach Ling all-in. So pure aggression here by Solar. Now again, this is how Solar would often beat SHIN. It's important that I did mention that again, Dark is not SHIN. The reason why SHIN would often lose to Solar is that SHIN would often drone. He would often drone, would often take a third base, would often macro, and then Solar would come in with a wild all-in. And he'd just catch SHIN with his pants down. That's typically how their dynamic would work, is that either Solar would catch him out with an all-in, or Solar would fake SHIN out and fake an all-in, and SHIN would fall for it. Like, a lot of mind games would kind of come into play between them. Meanwhile, here, Solar, he does commit and gets us around on these roaches, going for the third. He avoids a third. Again, he's all in, he's going for the natural, but we have a whole line of spine crawlers already done. Dark, he's ready to defend. He is ready here, the natural, and Solar, he backs off. He respects the spine forest. He does respect it. He backs off, goes for the third. Goes to the third base. He's got a lair on the way, droning, +1 as well. 1-1, upgrades even. So Solar, it looks like he has kind of accepted the fact that he shouldn't be able to break his opponent. Does commit anyway. Takes down one spine crawler, but again, Solar can't break this. Yeah, he just cannot. He has to pull back. He does come in for the scout. It gets eyes on the backup third. And oh, he scouts the spire. He sees, he knows Dark in a desperate situation. Goes to the spire, goes to the mutas, but he has been scouted, and now Solar knows. Taking his gases back at home, should be setting up his spores, his queens. And Solar's in a good position. He's in a very good position here. He's racing back home. Dark might be able to catch him out. But he does rotate over towards the right-hand side instead, which means the roaches will make it out. Make it to the safety here of the squares. Let's go. Oh, the pachinko machine. And Solar, this I was not expecting. I was expecting Solar to commit into Infestor, into Queen, into Hydra, right? It's like kind of what SHIN went for, but no, Solar, he responds with a Spire. This is a bold move, but basically what's happening here, the reason why Solar feels confident enough to go for the Spire is because of the gases. The 5th and 6th gas at the third base are just now getting up and running for Dark. Meanwhile, Solar, he's already done. So Solar, he has better gas mining currently, which means when the Spire finishes, even though Dark will have faster muta production, Solar will have more muta production. Ideally, Solar, he will have more mutas available, and his goal here is to overwhelm the muta count of Dark. As you can see, Solar, he has 1,000 gas. he's got a lot of gas. So this is a bold move here, but it does make sense considering the advantage that Solar has, considering how much gas Solar has available to him. And here they come, 12 mutas on the way. Dark, he has 8. So already, straight away, bam, Solar will take the muta lead. Now Dark, because of the faster Spire, faster upgrades. +1 air attack is on the way. It's halfway done for Dark. There is going to be a window in time where Dark has +1 and Solar has 0-0. So there is going to be a small window that Dark can make use of. But I am concerned just because of the sheer number of mutas that Solar's going to have. And usually that does trump upgrades. Usually that does overwhelm. Ooh, supply block though. Uh-oh. Solar getting supply block for a moment there. That will slow him down. Likewise, mutas that get scouted, they get confirmed. Solar moving out. Attempts to scout. We can see Dark trying to take extra gases. Likewise, Dark, he scouts, he confirms the mutas, he now knows. He's now aware of the muta versus muta. Dark, he responds with a faster infestation pit. Now, how do you counter mutas in this kind of dynamic? There's a couple different ways. One is with infestors with fungal growth. The other is taking up into hive into vipers. Vipers with parabombs. They can completely shut mutas down, as it can be quite difficult to split against those parabombs and to minimize splash damage. Looking at the army supply here, Solar, he has 22 to the 19 mutas of Dark. Dark gets supply blocked. So Solar does have a muta lead. Now, even though Dark is down in mutas, he can still take fights with Queen support and with spores. I'm not seeing any spores though, which is concerning. No spores for Dark. Dark is cutting corners. Dark still supply blocked. And we have the answer. He's not going into a hive, he's going into infestors. So this is more of a band-aid solution. The reason why this is, I would say, a more band-aid solution, infestors are vulnerable to lings, of course, on the ground, to a ground-based army. And Dark doesn't really have much support on the ground, outside of the infestors, of course. Which means, if we have an engage, and if Solar leads with his Ling Roach, and if he snipes the infestors, then they're going to go down. Vipers otherwise would be safe against them. We'll see how this ground-up fight does unfold. Ooh, Overlords get shut down. Dark has a supply block once again. Here come the infestors. They're still on the way. And the first fungal goes off. Massive connection. Solar, he gets locked down. He has to commit. The fungals, they just keep connecting. And Solar, he will lose this army. as there's 2 more fungals left. But here comes the Ling Roach. They zone away the infestors. Another fungal connects. And Solar, he's going to have to get the hell out of here. Yeah, he has to back off. Massive, brutal connections there with those fungals. And Dark, he takes the fight. Whew. Does take the fight. Again, Solar, he was not aware of those infestors. Looking at the units tab here, Solar still has a lead though. Looking at the trades, that was only 14 mutas going down. And really, most of the mutas here survived. Oof. So most of them did survive for Solar, so he still has a muta advantage. Oh. His mutas are low though, so he has to respect the army of Dark. Lings, they bust into the main. The fungal! Up! Oh my god, Solar, he's crazy, he's crazy. He dives in! Yeah, he commits to the dive. Tries to commit, just tanking the fungal to the face. And he will overwhelm. Yeah, Solar, he will overwhelm this. Remember, he has 10 more mutas than his opponent. GG gets called. The fungals, they don't matter. They do nothing as Solar takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Solar does take a lead in the series. And again, a very unique build this game on Neon Violet Square. Remember, Solar, he opened gasless and he went for a 3rd hatchery before gas. Very greedy build. But this is something that you can do specifically on Neon Violet Square. So Solar took a chance, and it wasn't just that he went for as greedy a build as possible. Remember, he went for a greedy build into an all-in, into a Ling Roach hatch tech all-in, which did catch Dark off guard. With that, he was able to kill the 3rd base, able to take a lead, able to scout and confirm the Spire. That was a very important moment for Solar. Was able to confirm that a muta switch was coming, and because he knew that he was up in economy, he went for his own mutas. And he just overwhelmed the mutas of Dark, despite the fact that Dark got there first. Didn't matter. It's not about getting there first, it's about the journey, papi. Let's go. As we're getting into game number 2. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Frostline, we have the South Korean Zerg player down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. I'm sure he can. We'll see if we can make a series out of this. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have going for a 12 pull on Frostline. That is crazy. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Falcons, leading the series 1-0. It is Solar. So the reason why a 12 pull is crazy, as it's not just a 12 pull, it's going to be a spine rush as well, as the drone is on the way to throw down that spine crawler, because the rush distance by ground is long. On Frostline, it is longer compared to Ley Lines, Whispers of Gold, Amygdala, for example. It is a larger map, so bold move here for Solar to go for the 12 pull. On the one hand, it is a larger map, which means it takes longer to get across the map, but also unexpected, right? Like, the surprise factor is going to be there as well. And I would imagine that Solar's going to pull the boys for this. I would imagine this is going to be a 12 pull drone pull. So it's an all-in, straight up all-in here from Solar. He does have that 1 drone as well to set up, as it does poke in. There's that hatchery. Now with this, he can cancel the hatchery and then morph in a spine crawler. There it is. Now the reason why you can do this, when you cancel a hatchery, it does leave a little bit of creep. So if you're fast enough, you can throw down the spine crawler just in time. Here we go, Lings are moving out, and Solar, he is not going for the 12 pull drone pull, it's a 12 pull spine rush into an expansion. So Solar, he is going to be droning up behind this after the fact. But the goal is to kill the natural. That's the goal. It's not to kill Dark, it's to kill the natural. We'll see if he can, to take a lead. The natural base is under fire. Dark just now finishing up his own spine crawler, sorry, his own spawning pool, I meant to say. Spine crawler's on the way. Hatchery's under fire, here comes the spine waddling in. And Dark, he's going to try and save his natural, but he cannot. He spots a spine, he pulls away, and Dark, he will lose the natural. Nice damage here by Solar. He's getting what he wanted. Trying to catch out some of those eggs, won't be able to. But the hatchery is going to go down. And with that, Solar takes a lead. Oh, I say he takes a lead. He's down in workers, but he does take a base lead at least. Slipping into the main. Ooh, engaging with the Lings. Can he try to bust up the ramp? The boys are being pulled. Can he get some drone kills? Ooh, barely not. As he does outtrade the Lings, but the Queen has arrived. Ling speed is on the way. And Solar, his goal here is just to trade and just to transition and survive. Again, his own hatchery is finishing up. He's droning up as we speak. Dark currently has the better economy, but over time that will change. Ideally, for Solar. As Darky is not droning, he's still making more lings. Ling speed is halfway done. Bearing in mind, Solar, he has no gas. Remember, this is a gasless build, so no ling speed for Solar, no Bailey Nest either. It means that Dark could try to commit to an all-in here. And could try to outscale Solar. You can see Solar, he's still sticking around. He's sticking here to support the Spine Crawler. If he unburrows, then he's just going to lose everything. Just trying to get as much value as possible, as the Spine will eventually go down. As Spine Crawler does fall, there is the hatchery for Dark, and now he breaks out. Going for ling speed, even rushing to a fast lair. Now, with a fast lair, he has options. This could be for a Ling Queen Nidus all-in. This could be for 2-base Muta. I'm leaning towards 2-base Muta, especially on Frostline. Like, that would be a good way to bounce back in this game. Lings get us around. Oh my god, they do sneak up on the Queen. Queen goes down. Massive pick off. And they get a scout. They get eyes on the fast lair and on both gases. So big scout here for Solar. He sees the lair, he sees the gases, he knows what's going on. He knows about the potential, the possibility of 2-base Muta. And back at home, he's taking his own gases. He's rushing to his own gases. He has his own defensive Spine Crawler. Queens are in position. Dark, he has links for a counterattack, but it's going to be difficult to really get anything done. Oh, as Lings, they bypass the Queens. Very nice. They do manage to get past the Queens. They bust into the main. They're going for the Queen in the main, or even some drones. They get one. They get two. Two drones go down. We spoke about 2-base Muta. There it is. The Spire is on the way. Now, if we can deduce that it's going to be 2-base Muta, then so can Solar. That's the thing here, is that Solar, he saw the lair, he saw the gases. The likelihood of it being Muta is quite high. Not 100%. As we mentioned, it could be like a Nidus-based all-in, or like... there are some niche builds for sure, like, definitely. But there's a high chance it's going to be 2-base Muta. I mean, we know, but I'm saying from Solar's perspective. And Solar, he's going for his own lair in the main. His lair has begun, now taking extra gases. And getting up to 4. These things are sweeping heavy. Oh, they force a cancel. Solar's struggling. He's struggling to deal with these things. These things, they've achieved so much here. They've been able to catch Queens, get a couple of worker kills. More importantly, just keep Solar busy and scout everything. And now I have to give Dark the edge. Unlike the previous game where Solar was up in economy, so he could try to overwhelm Dark and catch up with Mutas, this time that's not the case. This time, Solar, he's stuck on 2 bases, and I don't see him doing any counter damage. Not this time. He's stuck at home. And here come the Mutas. With that, Dark, he will gain map control, he will shut down all these overlords, and Solar's stuck at home. Solar, he's going to be stuck at home for quite some time. Now, he might respond with an all-in, with something like a Queen Roach Nidus all-in, to get across the map. That is possible. That's a little bit old school. You rarely see that nowadays as a response to Mutas, and usually you do that when your opponent is making a Spire, not when they already have Mutas. That's also a problem, as Mutas, they have arrived. Meanwhile, as we settle in, a shout out to Jeff Bezos in the chat. God, thank you so much. Shout out to Jeff Bezos. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime for 18 months, for 1.5 years. Thank you, Pappy. Thank you. Thank you for the support. We do appreciate it. Do appreciate it always. Always, Pappy. As yeah, Solar, he's just stuck at home. He's stuck defending, spreading creep in between his bases, trying to keep up with the Mutas. Mutas, they hit the natural. Going for the mineral line. No Spore. Oh, this is brutal. No Spore, 7, 8 drone kills. We can't afford these losses not early on like this. Infestation bits on the way. That should be for the infestors, for fungal growths. And the reality is, especially because of the kind of map that we're loading into, I think the plan for Solar has to be infestation bit, infestors, and just turtle. It feels like it just has to be turtle up. But it's so difficult to pull that off, as Lings are going to hit the 3rd. Muta's still wreaking havoc. They distract the Queens. Lings, they go for the expansion. And they're going to get the kill as well. Oh god. I mean, we're going to try and save it. True, the hatchery barely survives. But only just barely, as the Mutas, they can finish it off. Yeah, the hatchery goes down. Infestors are on the way. We'll see Solar trying to reclaim that 3rd. He's still droning. And the problem is that, again, Solar doesn't really have any pushing power. He has how many Queens? Only 6? That's not enough. Yeah, the hydrogen confirms. It confirms our suspicions that the only way here for Solo, the only thing for Solo to do is just turtle. Is just turtle up. The goal is to just fortify himself, get his third base up and running, and ideally get into a Hydra Lurker Viper, or at least Hydra Lurker Infestor. That's going to be the plan for Solar. It's going to be a tough road to travel. It is not going to be easy. It is possible. We have seen players before fall behind and turtle up and eventually max out or have a comparable army size and then go for the kill. That has happened before, but Dark should be all over this. Especially because it just hasn't been a clean early game from Solar. If he already had a third base, then sure, but because it was delayed and because it was killed, I have a harder time believing here in Solar. But you know what? Let's go. let's start the comeback. Hydra upgrades are on the way. Gases are on the way as well. Spore crawlers have been thrown down. Now, from the side of Dark, he has a couple of options. He can either go into Broodlords from here. He can take into Broodlords and take into a Hive, or he can take into a Hive into Ultras as well. Bearing in mind that Dark has full map control. He has all the bases he wants, all the economy he wants. The other thing he could do is what it looks like he's doing. He could just max out and commit on Lair Tech, Lingbane, Muta. Now, the worrisome thing about that is that Lingbane Muta doesn't scale amazingly into a longer game. So I hope that Dark, he has a follow-up plan. But the problem is that considering the kind of player that Dark is, yo, he's setting up for Dropper Lords. Like, he is being hyper aggressive here. He's an animal. And even though, like, for any other player, I'd be like, yo, maybe we should like think further ahead. For Dark, it's like, I mean, he can just commit. It's fine. It's Dark. He'll be fine, Bobby. He'll be fine. We'll see if that's the case. As Dark is cutting workers. He's intentionally keeping his drone count low. He could be getting up to 70 workers at this point, and 4-base saturation, and maybe droning up a little bit further. But again, Dark, he's not droning, he's not teching. He's staying on Lair Tech. He's making that choice. And the other thing he could do, I was talking about here, how he can take into Broodlords or into Ultras. He can also take into his own Hydra Lurker Viper as well. But again, option 4 or option D is just commit. Just commit that. Okay. It's risky. But he's going for it. It's risky because all it takes is a couple of well-placed fungals and the Muse can be shut down. That's a lot of fungals. It's a lot of infestors. As Dark, he's morphing in those Dropper Lords. He gets eyes on the move outs, which means Dark is not going to be at home to defend. And he needs Lingbane, 100%. He does catch the Queens. Queens are going down. Bathing's well into the mineral line. Ooh, and they crash in. Yeah, drones are going to be going down. Oh, not too many of them, though. Only 2. Only 2 workers. But Solar, he's kept distracted. He's kept busy. And Dark, he's going for that Doom Drop. 5 Dropper Lords full of Lings. Making his way into the main. Is going to be unloading. And Solar, he does not see this. He has no idea. He has no idea what's going on. Lings, they bust into the main. They get into the mineral line. They shut down the Queen. They can even get a kill on the Hive. Oh, sorry, on the Lair. Lair is going down, and Solar, he's all in. He's all in. He has to send everything across the map. Now, he can end the game with this army. Again, as I mentioned before, a couple of well-placed fungals, and he can shut down the mutas, but Dark, he just goes for the base trade. Yeah, there's no reason for Dark to engage. He's just going for the base trade. He's already in the third. He's already in the main. Now he can push towards the natural. He's killing everything. And there's no infestors. There's no infestors back at home. This is very similar to what we saw between SHIN and Dark on El Dorado, if you remember. Where SHIN was forced into the all-in, and Dark, he just committed to the base trade. He was just so much faster. And now there's no more anti-air. Solar, he busts into the natural, but everything's on fire. Everything is flashing red. Solar losing all of his workers, losing all the production, losing everything back at home. And Solar, he turns back around, but by the time he makes it back home, he's going to lose every single building. Solar, he may just die from elimination. As he's down to, what, 4 buildings left. There's a spawning pool in the main. There's a spore. There's no drones, so there's no buildings. And this is the final building. The final building here is the spawning pool. And it goes down. No GG. As Solar, he's knocked out by elimination, and Dark ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, Dark, he found himself in a very nice position, sniping the expansion, embracing, of course, mutas. But remember, it all began with the Link Flood. If you remember, it all began with the Link Flood getting into the main base. Solar was not in a bad position initially after he had killed the expansion, but the Lings, they busted in. They were able to kill queens, able to kill workers, able to buy time, and able to slow Solar down. So Solar, because of that, his lair was later, his third base was delayed, his gases were later as well. Everything was just far later, and he just could not keep up with the tech of Dark. GG. GG, well played. Dark much more comfortably embracing Muta here, unlike in game 1. So GG, well played. We have a tied up series of going into game number 3. Let's go. Let us go. So getting to our next game. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of El Dorado, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, tying up the series 1-1. And we'll see who takes the lead in this series. In this best of 5, it is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Falcons. Being forced into a tied-up series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is Solar. Here we go. And again, I wasn't opposed to the initial build of Solar, going for the 12 pull with a Spine Rush. Like, it was quite successful, and Solar was able to join up behind it. But again, the Link Flood. The Link Flood in the aftermath did snowball out of control, did give Dark a lot of breathing room to get into his own lair, to take up into his own mutas, and to gain map control. And Solar, he was just playing from behind. He was just stuck playing from behind here. So much later when it came to his gases, and so much later when it came to his own lair as well. So just a really awkward game for Solar. And Dark was looking very comfortable for most of that, once he got his mutas out. And now we're getting into game 3. Now, speaking of game 3, speaking of El Dorado, this is another map where you can try to rush into a faster third and delay your gases, but we can see here that Solar, he has gone Hatch Gas Pool. Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Solar, likewise standard opener out of Dark. Fun fact, this is the first time this entire series that we have had standard openers against each other. Like, game 1, we had Solar being hyper greedy. Game 2, we had Solar going for the 12 pool. Game 3, for the first time, Solar Hatch Gas Pool. Let's go. Standard openers back. And as we embrace game 3, a big shout out to Let Me Play With Your Kitties in the chat. Gracias, papi, gracias. Leave our ducks alone. But thank you so much for subscribing for with Twitch Prime for 8 months. For 8 months, thank you. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Gracias. Hope you enjoy your emotes. I hope you enjoy your replay packs, and hope you enjoy the content here on the CranKy Ducklings. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Do appreciate it. As we are going to be settling in. Now, with Hatch Gas Pool openers, this typically leads into a third base, into Ling Bane aggression, then into the mid game. That should be the direction that we're headed in. Now, walling up on 2 bases is viable on this map just because of the ramp coming into the natural and the available third base as well. So it is possible here that we could see our players try to wall off instead, but there it is. Dark is expanding, and so is Solar. Standard builds. So far, so good. Again, for the first time, not even for the first time in this series, but the first time tonight, because even SHIN versus Dark was much more dynamic. Was much more dynamic and much more intense. And if you remember, in game 1 between SHIN versus Dark, SHIN opened up gasless. Game 2, Dark opened up 2 base roach. So, like, this is the first time tonight we're seeing a third. Like, a third base on time from both players. And this might be the first time tonight that we are able to experience Ling Bane versus Ling Bane. As Baneliness is on the way for Dark, Baneliness is on the way for Solar. And we are entering the Ling Bane phase of ZVZ. Did you hear the bird? It's like a... it's like a squawk. Oh my god. Now that we're settling in, Overlords are moving out. Likewise, in position to scout any kind of cheeky move when it comes to mining through minerals and going for a Link Flood. Players are in position. Ooh, Solar going for a much earlier Roach Warren. Okay. takes the second gas geyser, earlier Roach Warren. Likewise, Dark is only slightly behind him, going for his own Roach Warren as well. But again, much earlier gases from Solar. And now both players are focusing on droning. It looks like neither player is embracing Ling Bane aggression. They have Ling Bane to defend. You can see Dark making a safety Baneling back at home. Likewise, Solar did the same as well. So just safety Banelings, but we're really focusing on droning. So both players are droning up. Both players are looking to embrace the mid game for the first time tonight. Roach versus Roach. We're getting there. Ooh, Solar. Do you see what I see? Okay, so we have a lair on the way for Dark. So Dark, he's embracing his lair, taking up, now taking his gases. Now, because Solo went for the earlier second gas, he has extra roaches early on. He's going for an earlier Eva chamber as well for +1, and I do not see the lair. I don't see a lair here. This could be a quote-unquote 2-base +1 hatch tech all-in out of Solar. Yeah, he is. He's banking up his roaches, and he's going for an all-in. Again, Solar, he does not have a lair, and I don't think he intends on making a lair at all. So no lair whatsoever, which means no roach speed, which means no longevity in this game. And Solar, he doesn't even begin +1 range, so he's not even going to be hitting that timing. He's going far earlier than that. And it's going to be on Dark to figure out what's going on. And it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell without getting into the main. Like Dark, he does check, he does see no upgrades. True, that is a bit of a sign. Roach speed just started for Dark, but it is not uncommon for Roach speed to just be a little bit delayed here. And there we go, the roaches are revealed. And Dark, he has to just focus on purely army production. Because here comes the all-in. It's purely Ling Roach. Purely Ling Roach here from Solar. Again, it's all on hatch tech, it's all or nothing for the red Zerg. Dark did drone up a little bit. He did make extra workers here, 7 extra drones. But Dark wasn't too greedy. That's what's important. He wasn't too greedy, but is it still too much? Oh, the Baneling! Oh, big connection here with the Lings. Baneling pops up, more Banelings on the way, decent connections. And with the help of the Queens, with the help of some of these transfuse as well, Dark, can he hold on? He barely is. It forces back the army. And again, Dark will outscale Solar. I do appreciate this old Dark. He does keep the one Baneling pin back, making sure he doesn't eye those Lings. And once again, just forcing them back. Baneling connects. And Dark holds. Dark, he shuts us down. GG gets called, and Dark will take a lead in the series, 2-1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Dark, he didn't really confirm the build, but he was still being very tentative when it came to droning. He did not overdrone. Very important. He was making a couple of workers here and there. He was up 7 drones, which is still acceptable. Still within the acceptable range of being greedy and still surviving against these all-ins. And I guess more importantly, if you remember, he had Lings right outside the expansion. So when Solo pulled the trigger, when he went for his all-in, Dark saw it. He saw it immediately. He was able to respond. Again, really important that Dark morphed in those Banelings. As you saw, typically when it comes to Ling Roach versus Ling Roach, Banelings are so important when it comes to zoning the opposing Lings away to make sure you don't get surrounded. To make sure you don't get surrounded, that means so much supply for Solo was dead supply because those Lings could not engage whatsoever. And with that, GG. GG, well played. Dark is now 1 game away from becoming this week's champion. Solar, the pressure is on. The pressure is on, and this player here is 1 game away. Well, no mass papi. 1 more game is all he needs. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing himself. Currently teamless, but still the best Zerg player in all of South Korea. Leading the series 2-1. Onomas, 1 more is all he needs. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner. Oh, go. Oh my god, going for 12-11? He's crazy. Okay, I believe this is either a 12-11 or 13-12. I was otherwise looking at Dark. I was distracted, but we have a very aggressive build here coming in from our top right-hand player. The South Korean Zerg, the Red Zerg for Team Falcons. It is a Solar. Let's go. Going for an all-in. Essentially, going for an all-in. I believe it was a 13-12 because I think I saw 10 supply towards the end there. So I think it was, sorry, not 13-12. I believe it was a 12-11, what I meant to say. And with that, going to be rushing into Ling speed, rushing into Banelings thereafter. I'm assuming he's going to be staying in gas, and he's just going for an all-in. He's just going for an all-in early on. Dark is going hatch gas pull. Now, Dark can defend against this if he's able to recognize what's happening in time. Going to be on Dark's scouting and on Dark's response. As yep, we're staying in gas. So you can see here that Solar, he's staying in gas, so he's going for a Roach, sorry, he's going for a Bailey Nester after. He's going for the Bane Bust. Going for the Bane Bust, here we go. Lings are moving out across the map as we speak. And we're keeping our eyes on these Overlords. Ooh, Dark, he does keep his second Overlord back at home. Interesting. This will scout a Spine Rush, but it does mean that he has less vision on the map to really confirm what's going on. As he will soon confirm the lack of expansion. And this Overlord should get eyes on the Lings. Oh, yeah, it does spot them. Now Dark knows. This or a Leon, it must be, I mean, again, it has to be a 12-pool variation. Dark pulling back, Spine Crawler on the high ground. Good response so far. Good response so far here by Dark. Dark, he's not pulling the boys. He's not pulling the boys. Yeah, he recognizes this is either a 13-12 or a 12-11. 2 spines on the way. Dark, he's willing to give up this expansion. This space does not matter. This space does not matter. It's just buying time for Dark. Dark needs to defend the main. So good read here. Dark, he scouts across the map. He does get eyes on the expansion. That is true. Does see the hatchery. But he knows he cannot save the base. So Dark, he stays here on the high ground. Bailings are morphing in. And Solar, he will soon commit. Spine Call is done. So far, oh good. So far, good engage. Bailing is started down. He gets one. He does snipe one Bailing. Gets the other. And with that, Dark holds. Whew, again, very nice target firing with the Spine Crawler. Did target down both Bailings, one after the other. He is aware of the expansion, but Dark has, or should have an army lead. An army advantage because he has the economic lead over his opponent. 18 workers against 13 for Solar. And Solar, he's trying to transition out of this. Trying to macro out of this, I should say. We'll see if he can. Now, Dark, he's still mining gas, so he should be going for his own Bailey Nest. Either that or a fast lair. I'm leaning towards Nest, but we'll see. As we should have one by now. Ooh, he's going, he's crazy. He's going for the fast lair. Bold move. So Dark, he's taking extra gases. He's going 2-base Muta. At least that's what this should be. Oh. Oh. As he does bypass the Bailing. Heads across the map. He's going to be racing across. Nice engage here by Dark. Shaves off a couple of Lings. Likewise, going to be committing. Oh. Should eventually shut down the Bailing as well. There we go. Does shut it down. So more efficient trades here by Dark. Oh, the Bailing. Oh. Dark, he responds in time. So he wants it. He wants the Bailing. Does want it. Lair's about to finish, and this should be for Aspire. And this is honestly a really good way to recover. So first things first, the drone count is even. We're neck and neck when it comes to the economy. Of course, Dark's expansion is late, so Solar does have a lead. He does have a lead. He has an even economy and he has more production, and now he's able to have more efficient mining with the better drone count as well with the natural base. So that is all true. Like Solar, he is in a better place. He got what he wanted, which was the natural. Meanwhile, Dark, Mutas. Spire is on the way for Mutas, and Mutas that should give him map control, should allow Dark to recover. Still comes down to the execution. Of course, comes down to the unit control and to whether or not Solar can recognize what's happening. Solar going for a fast Roach Warren. Ooh, it looks like Solar wants to go for an all-in. I mean, it makes sense. Solar, he knows that he has a lead, and he knows that it might be a temporary lead. Or he slips in. Big scout. Solar, what did he see? He saw the second gas, and he saw the lair. He saw the lair as well. Big scout here from Solar. And once again, he should recognize what's happening, which is why this Roach Rush is going to be ideal. Solar, he's going for an all-in. He is not droning. He's not taking a third. He's not saturating his natural. And his goal here is to strike as Dark is getting into Muta production. Like, Dark, he's vulnerable. He has no Roaches. He has barely any Ling Bane because he's going Muta. So there is a window here where Dark is vulnerable to Solar, to this attack. And Dark is throwing down a wall of Spine Crawlers. He needs time. That's going to be, what, 4 spines on the way? 6 Spine Crawlers in total? Is that going to be enough? Are they going to finish in time? That's what I'm concerned about. Here comes Solar. Roaches are moving out. He's going to get here in a couple of seconds. Mutas are on the way for Dark. Does have some Bailings at least. But it's going to be a tough hold as the Roaches, they have arrived. They move forward. Ling's going to be zoned away. So far, nice control. Bailey's are going for the mineral line. Going for the spines even. They shut down 2 of them. 2 spine coolers go down. Queens are falling as well. There's 3 spine coolers left. And it might just not be enough. Yeah, the army just avoids the spine coolers, headed for the main instead. Bailey's are being targeted down. They all will fall. And the drones are under fire. They head towards the national, towards safety of the spine coolers. But so many drones are going down. It looks like Solar, he's done it. Looks like he has done it. He's done enough damage. He's breaking through. Takes down the spine coolers, getting into the mineral line. The second spine cooler is going to fall, and Dark is down to 17 drones. And I feel like that should be enough damage. Solar, he's up to 27. He's on 2 base saturation. He's droning up and making more queens. Muta's gained map control, but Dark, economically, he's struggling. He's in a rough place. No, losing even more drones. More workers under fire. Losing 1 extra worker. Solo back at him. He has to defend. He's just contained. He's just contained on 2 bases. But he does have a massive worker lead. How many mutas does Dark have? 6. 6 mutas. He can at least hunt down some overlords. True. Can at least try to hunt down overlords. And he will get 2 of them. At least 1. Gets 1 overlord. We'll go for the other as well. And all Soul has to do is just chill out, defend on 2 bases, slowly build up and take a 3rd from here, take into Infestors, take into Hydras, build more Queens. Just slow and steady. Slow and steady here for Solar. And over time, he should just outscale his opponent. That is Overlord speed. Oh, okay. You know what that means? I'm feeling a German taxi. You don't often see German taxis in this matchup, but yeah, Solar's not droning. He's not droning, he's not taking gases, he's going for a big Roach Queen all in. Solar wants to go for the kill. And there's what? 1 spine? No, there's 0 spine crawlers. 0 spine crawlers left. Ooh, it's gonna be a tough hold for Dark. Nice snipe on the Changeling, and here they come. The Queens and Roaches are moving out. Here come the Overlords to support, to spread creep, to of course morph into Drop Lords if need be as well. I imagine they will. Well, we just Queen walking across the map instead. Oh my god, so Darky gets in! Does bypass the army, gets a Queen. And gets a couple of Roaches as well. He does force back the army. He delays the push. Delays for as best he can, for as long as he can. Overlords move out. They leave the Queens behind. This move out from Solar is a little bit awkward. Yeah, it's it's taking quite some time to really get going, and it looks like it's not a Drop Lord all in. He's going for the Drop Lord with the Overlord just to spread creep, which is going to delay the push. As they commit, they snipe 1 of the Queens. No, can Dark defend? I mean, he's slowing it down quite a bit. We can see Solar slowly gaining ground. Going for another Queen. Gets another. Oh my god. Again, they can't transfuse, not without creep. Every time there's ever a moment where there's no creep, he dies in. Even here anyway. Ooh, there are some transfuse though. Dark has to respect it. But the Queen count is very low. Without any Queens, the Roaches, they do nothing. Well, they can kill the base, but he commits, and he will get every single Queen here. Ay, ay, ay. Gets 2 more Queens, there's 3 left, but they're fresh Queens, no transfuse. Roaches, they have to commit. And Dark, he can clean this up. But how much is he going to lose? That's how much will he lose? Boys are being pulled away. Roaches, they get shut down. A couple more volleys, and that will be enough. Dark pulling off a miracle defense. GG gets called. He holds. He shuts down the Roaches. They all go down. And Dark, he takes the series 3-1. GG. No shot. GG, well played. Solo was in a very good position. He's the one that chose to go for the all-in. He was up in workers, up in economy. He went for the all-in. I wasn't opposed to it. It did make sense to me. It's like, oh, you know, Dark, he's struggling to recover. We can just go for like a drop or like German taxi all-in. But no, it was a slow push across the map instead, with, of course, spreading creep. And because it was a slow push, Dark had time. He had time to make use of his micro and his control, and it was very, very crisp control as well. If you notice, like winding it back a little bit, if you remember, every single time Solo moved forward, whenever there wasn't creep onto his queens, Dark dove in. He dove in, sniped one queen at a time, 1, 2, 3 queens going down, time and time and time again. Whenever there wasn't any creep to allow any kind of transfuse, as the queen count got down, there weren't many queens to begin with. The roaches were exposed, and it just forced Solo into committing towards the end. Didn't do enough damage. Did not do enough with those roaches. GG, well played. Despite the advantage, took a little bit too long, and Dark, he bounces back, and Dark is our champion. Congratulations. Congratulations here to Dark, as he does claim the win. He does claim the series. My condolences to Solar, but it was a very fun ZVZ. We saw a lot of aggression, a lot of unique builds, mainly from the side of Solar. Dark relying a lot on mutas here, and again, mutas are just a really good way to slow the game down and bounce back if you're behind. That's why he went mutas that game as well. It was just to try to slow things down. Again, Solar, he's the one that chose to go for the all-in. It was his choice, and I can see the rationale behind it, but, you know, Dark was able to somehow find a way. The control, baby, the control. GG, well played. With that, congratulations to Dark, my condolences to Solar, and that will conclude our first broadcast of the day. GG, well played. Exclamation mark B if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves. Let us head on over, and we can see the run of our players. Again, Solar, he popped off here tonight. Solar, he took down, how many players? Took down Trap and herO. 2 very strong Protoss players in Korea. They did fall at the hands of Solar, and even this ZVZ was very close. May have only gone to game 4 instead of game 5, but it was a very close ZVZ. There's a world out there where that final game Solo wins, and then we go to the ace match. Then we go to the ace match instead, and it could still go the way of Dark. Could have gone the way of Solar as well. I mean, could have gone either direction. Part of me wishes that we did get an ace match, is what I will say. But regardless, very close back and forth between the two of them. I think you clearly got to see as well, like, why Cyril for a long time had trouble against Solar, because Solar, he has so many different builds and he's so aggressive in ZVZ, specifically in ZVZ, right? Like, we saw some hatch based all-ins, some roach based all-ins. We saw him going to embrace muta play. We saw him here even go for the roach queen walk across the map. He can be very difficult, a very difficult player to read, and even Dark had some trouble against him as well. Dark, he was made to bleed in this series, but did take it. So yeah, regardless, GG, well played, congratulations, and with that, that will conclude this week's Korean StarCraft League. As a reminder, this is a bi-weekly tournament. Every 2 weeks we do host the KSL, and if you want to help support the KSL, you can do so via Patreon, exclamation mark KSL in the chat, and you will get a link to the Patreon page specifically for the KSL. You can gain benefits like replay packs, and you can gain the knowledge of knowing that you're supporting the Korean scene, you're supporting the Korean StarCraft scene. So if you wish, you can do so via Patreon. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching here. Again, I did emphasize that this was our first broadcast today because we're going to be live again in a couple of hours with Masters Coliseum. Oh boy. Just quickly, let me just double check when it starts. It's going to be starting in 6 hours. In 6 hours time, we're going to be live with the Masters Coliseum. If you're curious, what is the Masters Coliseum? Masters Coliseum 8, I should emphasize. It is a long-running tournament by SC Boy. SC Boy, of course, they are the organizers behind Kung Fu Cup, Stars War 11, Masters Coliseum, and more importantly, World Team League as well. They are, honestly, I would say, a pretty big part of the StarCraft community and StarCraft scene nowadays. They do run a lot of tournaments, a lot of big events, and this one as well has a massive prize pool, and the best players in the world are going to be there. The best players in the world are going to be in Masters Coliseum. If you if you are unaware of it, we were covering the qualifiers last week. We did cover qualifiers for every single region last week, and the main event starts tonight. Ooh, tonight is that main event. And speaking of, bam. That's not quite what I was looking for. That's a random raffle. There we go. If you guys want to have a look at what's to come here tonight, let's quickly go over it once again. Again, last week we did cast the qualifiers. Tonight begins the group stage. This event is going to last 2 months. It's going to last until the end of January, so it's a very big, very long event. There's like, what, 10k on the line? No, my apologies, it's 15k on the line, 15,000 USD. First place is 6k, second place is 3k, and then it goes down from there. But a lot of prize money here is on the table, and because that, we have the best of the best. The best players in the world are all going to be here. There is one player missing, or you could argue 2 players missing, in Solar and Dark. Solar did attempt to qualify, but he was denied by Skillous. He popped off in the qualifiers. If you missed them, I recommend the VODs. The VODs are on, they're on YouTube, the VODs are on Twitch. We did cast all the qualifiers, and Skillous had a crazy run in the global qualifier. And instead of Solar, Skillous qualified. Skillous knocked he knocked Solar out of the qualifier. So Solar, he is not a part of this tournament, unfortunately. Rogue is going to be there in his stead when it comes to Korean Zerg players. Another player that didn't make it through, as you can see here, is Dark. Now, this is why at the start of the broadcast, I was talking about how there are signs that Dark is going to the military soon. This is one of them. It isn't that Dark didn't qualify, Dark didn't even try. Dark, he did not sign up for any of the qualifiers, so I would imagine that, and Dark clearly is active, he just won today's tournament, but I would imagine it's because this event does last 2 months, and if Dark isn't available in January, then, I mean, he won't be able to play, and he can't compete in the tournament, right? So if there's something going on next month, if there's something going on that would impede Dark from competing, that would be the reason why he didn't sign up. Now, maybe it's not the military, maybe it's something else, maybe he's going on vacation, right? Maybe he, maybe he bought some tickets and he's like going on a cruise with his wife and kids, and he already had that planned out. We don't know, but clearly something did come up, which is why Dark did not play in these qualifiers and won't be a part of the event, which is unfortunate. Whether it's one thing or another, he just won't be a part of this. Likewise, again, Skillous was able to upset and knock down Solar, and now we have our top players here, our top 16 in the world. Let's go. And tonight is Group A. Now, again, it's going to last 2 months, so Group A is a round-robin format, and tonight we have these 3 matches. Only 3 matches tonight, and then we have the other 3 tomorrow, and then we'll continue throughout the course of a lot of matches every weekend. We have this week's matches, we have next week's a lot of matches here over the course of the next 2 months when it comes to the group stage into the playoff bracket as well. Tonight is going to be SHIN, Estrella, and Cure. We have Cell versus Cure, SHIN versus Estrella, and Cure versus Estrella as well. Those are tonight's matches. Tomorrow is going to be Estrella versus Cell versus SHIN, and SHIN versus Cure as well. Oh boy. So a lot of matches. A lot of matches are going to be held here. And when it comes to these matches, when it comes to the outcome of these, matches, again, we're going to be casting it live in 6 hours. It's going to be a lot of fun, I'm sure. We already held predictions for the group. That was 2 days ago during the podcast. If I remember correctly, I think, God, what were the predictions? I think I had my predictions and Yaku had his. I think I went for Cyril and SHIN, and I think Yaku went Cyril and Estrella. I mean, Cyril should be a sure thing making it out of it. I think we were both on the fence about this, and even then, like, Cure's a really strong player as well. Like, this feels like the group of death, I'll be honest. Like, this is, I mean, almost every group is, right? Like, these are brutal groups here. Anyone can make it through. Estrella has been on fire recently. We've seen Estrella pop off in PvT. Time and time again, we've seen Estrella take down Beyond week after week after week. Like, Estrella's been popping off. He's been looking very good. I mean, hey, Estrella, he qualified. He did qualify, relying quite heavily here on his matchups here. I think in PvP and PvZ more than anything, making it through the qualifiers. So Estrella did make it through. Likewise, Max X Rainer, Rogue, Skillous. We got down here Oliveira, Clem, Down Spirit, and Group C. That's a little bit cut off there. Is herO, Maru, Solar, and herO, Maru, Lancer, and Gumiho. So yeah, it's gonna be an intense couple of months. Gonna be intense 2 months here for Master Coliseum. I mean, we're already a week in, so best of luck to all these players here and to all these matches that are going to be unfolding leading into eventually the playoffs. And again, that's in 3 weeks. That's January 10th. January 10th is when the playoffs begin. Until then, we're working through the group stage. So yeah, that's going to be over the course of the weekend. That's going to be Saturday and Sunday, every single weekend until the end of the tournament. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you mark your calendar, set your alarms, and make sure you're there for Masters Coliseum. Oh boy. Let's go. Who is Lancer again? Firefly? Lancer is Lancer. Lancer is Cyan. Cyan name changed to Lancer, like, what? 2 years ago? 1 or 2 years ago. It's been quite some time. Oh, good. When does it start? 6 hours from now. Yeah, 6 hours. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. The Podcast, yes, the Podcast. If you don't know, the Podcast is our weekly talk show. Every single week we have a StarCraft-related talk show where we go over the news and we go over all the events of the week and the upcoming events as well. So we Yaku and I, we had our own predictions for the groups for who will make it out. So we'll see who comes out on top with those predictions. We'll see. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in. Polish power greater than solar power? Skillus is not Polish. What are you talking about? What do you mean? He's living in the Netherlands, papi. Ay. You're thinking of either Cristiano, Geralt, Mana, Jomek, one of the other Polish Protoss players. He's not Finnish either. Thought I had Spirit? Nah, Skillus. Wait, that doesn't make it. You're replying to a text message. He said Skillus. He said it in text. Anyway, with that, we're going to be wrapping up. With that, we are going to be wrapping up here tonight. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate the support, and we'll see you guys in 6 hours. We'll see you guys in 6 hours with the next broadcast. So make sure you tune in. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. If you can't watch it live, the VODs. Remember the VODs. We do stream on YouTube at the same time as Twitch. So VODs are available on YouTube immediately. Likewise, VODs are also available on Twitch as well. If you want to support us, you can follow us on all the social medias, exclamation mark socials in the chat. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, Blue Sky, Mastodon, all things CranKy Ducklings. And we'll see you later tonight. There we go. We'll see you guys later tonight. Until then, thanks for watching. Hasta luego. Hasta luego, papi. Ciao, papi. Ciao. Hasta luego.